Tampa sits in a three-way tie for first place with Atlanta and New Orleans heading into Week 15. But listen, Baker Mayfield is having one heck of a year. He's played twice at Lambeau Field in his career, once with the Browns and once with the Rams, and he lost both times. Also, I mean, this is not sunny South Florida. It is very cold up there in Green Bay. To find out if the Bucs can do it this week, let's hear from Rhett Matthew and Evan Wanish from the Cannon Fire podcast. Guys, what is the game plan for Tampa Bay?
Thanks, Courtney. Rhett and Evan with the Cannon Fire podcast here, taking a look ahead at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers matchup in Lambeau with the Green Bay Packers. For the Bucs, if they're going to have any success on the offense this week, it's going to have to start with running back Rachaad White. He has absolutely come out of his shell in this offense and really helped this run game over the last few weeks. 2 games of 100-plus rushing yards in his last 3 games. I think throwing the football is going to be tough for Baker Mayfield this week, and with Rachaad White being more consistent in the run game, opening up some opportunities for play action later in the game, he's going to be huge for this Bucs offense this week.
I definitely agree. And on the defensive side of things, I think the pass rush, the Buccaneers pass rush, is going to be absolutely critical in this game. The Bucs pass rush has just been too inconsistent at times this season. They're going to need their pass rushers like Shaq Barrett, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, even the rookies like Yaya Diaby and Kalijah Kancey to come alive and make an impact here.
Everybody loves Lambeau in December. Looking forward to an entertaining game. Back to you, Courtney.
All right, thanks, guys. I agree. The Bucs pass rush must show up and make an impact on the game. Turnovers were a huge issue with that Giants game. Let's see if they can force the Packers' hand this week. The Packers are coming off of a heartbreaking last-minute loss to the Giants in Week 14. Some will say that they blew their shot at the playoffs. I don't think we should be jumping the gun to that quite yet. They're a solid team all around. Jordan Love, he just needs to wake up because that loss was on the offense last week. But to find out how the Packers bounce back against the Bucs, let's hear from former Packer Mike Wall from the Off the Block podcast. Mike, what do you got for me?
Thanks, Courtney. And the Packers lost the game they feel they should have won, I think 24-22 to the Giants last Monday night. They gave up over 200 yards on the ground to Tommy DeVito and this Giants rushing attack. So what's it going to take for them to get back on track versus a Tampa Bay team that's fighting for the NFC South Championship? Number one, pre-snap recognition. Jordan Love and this young offensive skill group has really done a good job of identifying, communicating, and executing pre-snap at the line of scrimmage. Number two, attack the line of scrimmage. How does the Packers defensive line dominate what I think is a weaker offensive line for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and make this a one-dimensional game, make Baker Mayfield win this game for you? And then third, we have to win the early downs offensively, and that really means running the football. We're not getting consistent effort from the running back position. Our offensive line's not doing a good job of creating opportunities for A.J. Dillon and company to really get moving. Mike Wall, at MikeWall68 on Twitter, Process to Perform on Instagram. The podcast is on my block. We break down tape twice a week, every week. Hope you enjoy it. Back to you, Courtney.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Yes, I agree. The Packers must be better at pre-snap recognition against the Bucs, and that offensive line has got to attack the line of scrimmage. Listen, to me, this is a no-brainer. The Bucs haven't traveled well this season, and you don't know which Baker Mayfield is going to show up. So I got Green Bay to take the game.
It is the MrBucsNation Game Day Reaction live stream. I am not James Hill, MrBucsNation, but I am Rhett Matthew, host of the Cannon Fire podcast, filling in for James Hill, who will be back at a later date. James is very, very, very sick today, unfortunately. I have documentation. I have all the proof that I need. He's got a doctor's note. I think he's got a fever of like 103, 104 degrees. So a rough morning, rough weekend, honestly, for our good buddy, MrBucsNation, and we hope for him to get better. But in the meantime, we are preparing for Week 15's game between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Green Bay Packers. Lambeau Field in December. The Packers fresh off of a disappointing loss to the New York Giants on Monday Night Football. And previous to that loss, they were undefeated in the month of December under Matt LaFleur in Lambeau. I know that's a lot of statistics to throw at you, But the odds did not favor Tampa Bay, now with a 16-1 record in December in their own stadium under head coach Matt LaFleur. The Bucs look to make it 16-2. Massive NFC wildcard implications for both teams in this matchup. We know the Bucs obviously want to keep the wins going as they look to win their third straight division title in the NFC South. But for the Packers, while they have a little bit further to go if they want to contend in that NFC North division, they're still fighting for a wild card spot. I believe if the season ended today, the Packers would be the 7 seed. So the Bucs looking to play upset against an old NFC Central foe. It's always a lot of fun when these two teams get together. The Battle of the Bays, if you will. But welcome to the stream, everybody. Saying hello to everybody in chat. Benjamin says no James. Yeah, no James today. Unfortunately, he's very sick. But we do have some Tampa Bay Buccaneer news to talk about as we are about 20 minutes away from the start of this game. Couple of people in chat have already brought it up. Seems like a half hour before the start of the game, Devin White is the number one topic among Bucs fans right now, as it has been announced by Todd Bowles that he's a healthy scratch. Devin White will not play today after practicing all week. We know he has struggled with injuries for the last couple of months. He hasn't been 100% for most of the season, but as of today, it seems like a pretty telling decision from Todd Bowles, and he confirmed that this was his decision, but Devin White going to be inactive today for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it is not injury-related. Now, we know the drama that started between Devin White and Tampa Bay almost a full calendar year ago. I mean, Devin White's always been one of those guys that goes on social media and talks about playing for other teams, joining other teams. The grass is greener over here. So, I mean, he's had a little bit of heat with the Bucs fans for longer than a year. But, I mean, it really all stemmed from a trade request that happened in the offseason. And, the Bucs ultimately, by the end of the 2023 season, not believing that he had shown them enough to even help the team with a potential playoff push. I mean, there is a lot to dissect with what's going on with Devin White as of right now. But I'll tell you this, the decline of Devin White is why this conversation is even being had to begin with. That 2020 season, the playoff run that the Bucs had, Devin White was a very special player. All-Pro consideration. Many people, I don't know about many Bucs fans, but a lot of the national media were quick to call him one of the best off-ball linebackers in the NFL after that 2020 season, and he was very, very, very highly regarded in that sense until about halfway through the 2021 season when he made a comment about certain games becoming easy. And ever since then, it seems like it's just been an uphill battle for him. Has not quite played at the same trajectory he did in that playoff push for Tampa Bay. And even this season, a very critical season for him, wanting to be a $100 million linebacker, wanting to be paid $20 million a year, which is got to be top 3 for that position group in the NFL. I just don't think he had a strong enough season, to really get people excited about what he can bring to this franchise moving forward. But for Todd Bowles, seemingly for Jason Licht as well, the 2019 first-round pick, I think this is it. Him not playing today is, again, very telling of where the Bucs view Devin White and where they expect to be with him come contract negotiation time here in just a couple of months. So it's going to be interesting. I'm one of those people who I said back in March, honestly, I wish the Bucs would have traded while they could have gotten some value for him. I mean, he underperformed in 2021. He still had a solid season. Some would say he underperformed in 2022. Still had an above-average season for the linebacker that he is. But when you see, the potential and when you see him play at his best like he did in 2020, that's what everyone's always going to go back to. When you see him at his best and then you see him these last couple of years, it's just he has not played at that level. And I think, honestly, for Devin White, there's been a lot of players in the Bucs history who all they needed was a change of scenery. And I think that might be the case with Devin White. As much as he has fallen out of favor with a lot of Bucs fans, I think he's one of those guys where if he gets picked up by, I don't know, a team that wants to pay a linebacker, right? Let's say Dallas, let's say Philly. If he ends up on one of those teams, I think I could, see a little bit of a resurgence from him. And I wish him the best, but I definitely think his days in Tampa Bay after this season are over. So very shocking, but not too surprised either. Ryan Swain says, I got a bet for Red. If the Bucs score 3 touchdowns, you got to show the puppy cam. I'm fine with that. I'll take that bet every day of the week. 3 touchdowns from this Tampa Bay offense is going to be huge today. We showed a clip from our game preview segment on Game Plan hosted by Courtney Fallon this week, and we also talked with former Packer Michael Wall on our podcast this week. And I think the overall consensus with how the Bucs offense is going to do this week, I think it's going to be a lot of Rachaad White. I really do. The Packers, the way their defense has played out this year plays right into what Dave Canales wants to do with this Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense. He's talked week after week about being stubborn with the run. And over the last month, we have seen Rachaad White really come out of his shell as the running back one, but we've also seen him put teams away in the fourth quarter. This offensive line doing a much better job of opening up run lanes for Rachaad White later in the game, plus the performance from running back 2 Chase Edmonds. This run game has seemingly come alive, and the Packers, their defense is ranked 31st in the NFL against the run. So I think it's going to be a heavy dose of Rachaad White early and often in this game. And if that's the case, I would love to see 3 touchdowns. That'd be a huge day. Because me personally, I don't think it's going to be that high scoring. I don't come after me, but I did pick the Bucs to lose this game. I do think it's going to be close, and I think at times it's going to be frustrating for both of these offenses. It's cold, but Baker Mayfield said this morning on ESPN, it's not that cold. No snow in Lambeau. But I still think it's going to be tough sledding for both of these offenses unless the Bucs can find some early success running the football. So my final score prediction was Packers come out on top 20-17. I don't see either team putting up more than 28 points in this one. But I do think it is a game that could go either way. Willis Hagens Racing says, we need to re-sign Evans, Winfield, and Wirfs. Let White walk. Yeah, I think Devin White walking is a foregone conclusion at this point. I don't see a scenario where the Bucs sign him to a long-term extension after this season, especially with the fashion that his season is ending for the Bucs. I mean, he's a healthy scratch this week, and this guy's a 2019 first-round pick. I remember how excited we were after his rookie season. Obviously, 2020, the Super Bowl run, I just talked very highly to start the stream about how he played during that postseason. The hype around this guy is real, and I'm not going to sit here and say that he has been a bust because, the Bucs defense is not what it was in 2020 without Devin White, and there's nobody that can argue that. They can try. Some people may want to argue that, but I don't think there's a legitimate argument as to, Devin White not being one of the biggest difference makers for the Bucs defense in 2020. That game-sealing interception against Drew Brees in New Orleans in the divisional round. The game-sealing, it was, I think 28-9 or 31-9 at that point, but the game-sealing interception against Kansas City in the red zone in the Super Bowl that prevented a touchdown. He did a lot of special things on this Buccaneers defense, so I'm not going to say that he was a bust. I'm not going to say that he was a bad pick for Jason Licht, but unfortunately, in the NFL, sometimes things just don't work out. And I think that this is a relationship that has slowly been souring over the last calendar year or so. It's unfortunate to see it play out this way, but I think it'll be best for both sides here if Devin White moves on after next season. But as far as re-signing Mike Evans, Antoine Winfield, and Tristan Wirfs, luckily for the Bucs, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 2, 3, 4. Tristan Wirfs was a first-round pick, so they can pick up his fifth-year option. They could push that back another year if they wanted to. I think they will pick up his fifth-year option if they don't ultimately decide to sign him to a long-term extension, because not having Devin White, not having that contract, it definitely opens the door a little bit for what they're going to have to do. Now, I don't know the specifics. I don't know the number off the top of my head about the dead money they have on the table, but due to some of the void years and the contracts the Bucs made in 2021, 22, there is still some dead money on the table for Tampa Bay, but you've ultimately shed Tom Brady, and I believe after a restructure, you'll be able to shed Russell Gage and Ryan Jensen. So it'll be interesting to see how they move that money around, but we know that this Bucs front office is very creative with the cap, and I believe they will get it done. I think Mike Evans is priority number one. I feel much better now about them getting a deal done with Mike Evans than I did at the beginning of the season. And I hate to say that that's because of Mike Evans and some of his miscues this year, but I truthfully think that's going to be the biggest difference maker is coming into the season, Mike Evans and his agent, they basically drew a line in the sand and said Mike Evans wants to be paid like a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL, which is unfortunately like Christian Kirk is in that conversation, even though he's far from it player-wise, salary-wise he's up there, but guys like Cooper Kupp, all of these younger wide receivers who are getting paid close to $30 million a year, Mike wants a little bit of that. This is going to be his last chance at a big money contract. I think he's going to get mid-20s. I don't think he's going to get north of 26, which is probably what he was wanting last offseason. I think some of those crucial drops on prime time, nonetheless, early in the season, back-to-back weeks, that kind of hurt him. He's had a great season, and I hope that him and Baker continue to ball out. First wide receiver in NFL history to start his career with 10 straight 1,000-yard seasons. I think Mike Evans is a Hall of Fame caliber player, and he's available every week for this Bucs team. But I just don't know if he's going to get $26, $27, $28 million a year. I think the Bucs can find a way to let him hit free agency, let him see what other teams think he's worth, and then they ultimately get a deal done. If I had to guess, $23, $24 million is what the Bucs are ready to pay Mike Evans. But that's just my guess. That's all assumptions, and you know what they say about assumptions. How could we re-sign Winfield, Evans, and Wirfs? No dead money next year. I don't have the specifics in front of me, Willis Higgins. I wish I had a better idea of the dead cap the Bucs actually have this season, and the only reason they have it is because of the void years from previous years. Like, they've shed Tom Brady. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they've shed Ryan Jensen and Russell Gage. If it's not official yet, it's probably going to be coming in a matter of time. But I do think the Bucs are going to be much more flexible with how they decide to pay these guys. Antoine Winfield Jr., not a first-round pick. So the Bucs did not get an option to pick up his fifth-year option. So I believe he is going to be, if Mike Evans is number 1, then you could probably put Winfield as 1A or 2, very, very close to. I mean, those two guys are, I would argue they're on the same level of priority, because I don't think the Bucs want to see either of them in another uniform next season. So I think those are two guys you can almost count on being here next year. How secure do you think Jason Licht is after the draft misses the recent years, like Logan Hall, JTS, and possibly Devin White? I did say my opinion on Devin White. I don't think that's going to go down as a miss for Jason Licht simply because of the success we have seen. There were a couple of seasons where, again, maybe not Bucs fans who watch Devin White every week, but the national media was touting Devin White as one of the best linebackers in the league. And if you can get that from a first-round pick, especially outside of a rookie season, I think that's going to be a win, as well as a Super Bowl championship that he played a huge part in. So I don't think he's a miss, but I do think something that helps Jason Licht this year is the 2023 draft class. Now, you did bring up Logan Hall and Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, and yeah, I think both of those guys might be cooked. I hate to say it so soon for Logan Hall because this is only year number 2, but we've seen what we've seen from the guy, and I don't know how much better it's going to get. But the guys this season who are playing ahead of schedule for the Bucs, and a lot of them are younger guys. Kalijah Kancey has not played a lot this season, but when he has played, he has made a huge impact, and he's seemingly getting better every week. Yaya Diaby is playing well ahead of schedule. He's another guy who has not played in every single game this season, but he's already got more sacks on the year than Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, and I believe most of the other guys on that Bucs defensive line. I think he's got more sacks than Shaq Barrett at this point in the season. I believe he has 5 or 6 on the year. So he has just had a very hot start. And then on top of that, we've talked all year about the younger talent. Cody Mauch, I know he's been up and down so far this season, getting a little bit better in the run game, but he started every week. He hasn't been benched. Luke Gedeke in his rookie season playing guard, he ultimately got benched, and the Bucs decided to move him to right tackle. He's played every week. He's looked a little bit better at right tackle than he did last year playing interior offensive line. There's still some holes where these younger guys are playing. I don't know if Cody Mauch is going to be a right guard next year. Maybe, if I had to guess. But there's going to be some huge changes to that interior offensive line. But as far as Jason Light's track record, if the Bucs decide to move on from Todd Bowles, I think Jason Licht is more than fine. Just because, 2023, this draft class is really helping him out for a lot of the people who are quick to criticize. But, a lot of the core of this team, a lot of the guys that are going to be featured a lot of the guys who have come around this season, they're all Jason Licht draft picks. I mean, they're showing on the TV broadcast right now, Rashad White. He's had one hell of a month. You know, these last 3-4 games, he's really come around and been a huge piece of this Buccaneers offense. Some weeks he's our entire offense. He's another Jason Licht draft pick. Vita Vea, you know, he's a Jason Licht draft pick. Devin White, who's probably not going to be in this core group of players for much longer, but if he goes and has success somewhere else, he had success here. I know that his fall off is something that should be documented for sure, because after 2020, he's been getting worse every year. But he's going to go and he's going to make money and he's going to play well somewhere else. That's what I personally believe. Antoine Winfield Jr., Jason Licht draft pick. You know, Tristan Wirfs, Jason Licht draft pick. There's a lot of good that he has going for him, and I think he's done a lot more good than bad as far as, you know, building this team through the draft recently. I know he's had a couple of whiffs, some really big whiffs in the draft classes especially, but I think he's much safer than let's say a Todd Bowles is. Yeah, way more hits than misses, says Brutal as Bucs. Devin White is clearly injured and will likely be healthy and play better under a better coach next year. He probably will. Yeah, he's been struggling with injuries. I mean, we can talk about, you know, how he hasn't had the best season this year, but injuries have been a very real part of it. It's even when he's been on the field, he hasn't been at 100% for most of his snaps this season. So it's a legitimate conversation that is going to have to be had. We are under 5 minutes away from kickoff at Lambeau Field in humble Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by Baker Mayfield, look to get a big win here in the NFC Conference and play upset to the Green Bay Packers, who are looking to hang on to that wild card spot as both teams in the middle of their postseason push. The Bucs wearing white jerseys and pewter pants. The Packers in their traditional green and yellow look. You know it well. The same color combo between these two teams for that 2020 NFC Championship game, where the Buccaneers ultimately came out on top and advanced to their first home Super Bowl in NFL history, the second franchise Super Bowl that they were able to win. But the first home Super Bowl in NFL history. We all remember it well, and everybody liked it so much, the NFL scripted it to happen again a year later with the Rams. I'm kidding. I do get a little salty about the Rams sometimes, though, because as you guys have noticed, the Rams, like, completely ripped us off, dude. Even down to the Super Bowl championship ring. Same design. You know what? Let me go on a little tangent here before kickoff. Have you guys noticed that every championship ring that comes out now is basically like a personalized version of the Bucs 2020 ring? Like, every ring that I see, even NHL, NBA, MLB, they all have the opening top. And it's, you know, it's all marketed as the revolutionary opening top. The first time this has ever happened, with historic details, blah, 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 blah. And the Bucs were the first team to do it. Everybody loves copying the Bucs, man. So we'll take a look at the tail of the tape, by the way, for both of these teams on the ESPN Gamecaster. The Bucs 6-7, Green Bay 6-7. Both teams looking to get back to 500 for the first time in over a month this season. Green Bay favored by 3.5, playing at home. So if Green Bay's not at home, this is a pretty evenly matched game. You know, you give 2 or 3 points just because of that home field advantage. So aside from that, Vegas sees this as a game that could go either way. The over-under being 42.5. The matchup predictor has 43.5% of people picking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so they come into this the underdogs, to be expected when you're playing on the road in Lambeau in December. 56.2% have picked the Packers. Baker Mayfield, his season stats: 274, 438 passing, 2,934 yards, 20 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. Jordan Love, comparatively, 275, 447 passing, 3,084 yards, 23 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Both of the running backs in this one, A.J. Dillon, not going to be playing seemingly At least I don't know what his status is actually for today. I guess we'll find out here momentarily. But that running back room for Green Bay has been a hodgepodge all season. They have struggled to get A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones on the field at the same time, which is where both of those guys have made their money. So I think Aaron Jones was expected to return, if not this week, then next. And A.J. Dillon, with a big thumb injury last week, could put a snafu into those plans. Yeah, Rams stole our whole flow, word for word, bar for bar. I'm telling you they did. I'm telling you, man. Chris Mail, huge game, playoff football, go Bucs. Absolutely. For the Bucs, the playoff started 3 weeks ago, and for the Packers, obviously, they can't lose this game either. So a playoff atmosphere for another week in a row for both of these teams should be an exciting game. It always is whenever Tampa plays Green Bay. A lot of history between these two franchises, as we know. So we are just moments away from kickoff here in Green Bay, Wisconsin, Lambeau Field, a cold game in December. I believe I saw 36 degrees on the forecast today. So it's cold, but as the NFL players would say, it's not that cold. And the Packers will win the coin toss and defer, so the Bucs will start on offense today. We'll get a good look at Baker Mayfield, Rashad White, Mike Evans, and the rest of that crew. They got to start quick. I'll tell you this. One thing I'm going to be paying attention to today is the tone that the Bucs set early in the game. When you start the game on offense, you have the opportunity to set the tone of how this first and second, potentially third, fourth quarter are going to go for you and your team. They've done a pretty good job of moving the football on opening drives, but they've struggled to find the end zone, and I would really like them to start hot here. I'm also going to be paying attention to just really the energy this team has today. Todd Bowles made a huge decision as head coach today. Devin White, a former team captain for this team, I'm sure highly regarded by a lot of his teammates. I know the situation between him and the franchise has soured, but I don't think you're going to find many guys in that locker room who have bad things to say about Devin White. So if this Bucs team shows up and they show up ready to play, it's going to go a long way in telling me, the effect that Todd Bowles has in that locker room. If they don't want to play for Todd Bowles, then they're not going to show up today. It's as simple as that. So a big-time decision from the head coach. We'll see if the team can rally behind him and go out there and win this one. With the absence of Devin White also means we're going to get a look at KJ Britt between him and Servassier Dennis, another rookie from 2023, playing a more meaningful snaps. Both of them have played pretty well. Carlton Davis and Will Golston also going to be out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers today. Second-year corner Zion McCollum had a very strong performance last week against Atlanta. Would love to see him keep it up here. Devin Tompkins, number 83, back deep to return for the Buccaneers. And this game is officially underway. Anders Carlson, number 17, puts the boot on it for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Back deep to receive, ready to start this game on offense. Here is Tompkins, fields it at the 5, and he'll call for the fair catch. I'm surprised, to be honest with you. He had a lot of room to run there, but regardless, the Bucs will get some regular field position here as Baker Mayfield comes out last week against Atlanta. It was his third career game with 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. Now, the passing yards were not that impressive, but regardless, he found the end zone, and the Buccaneers found a way to win, and he led that game-winning drive at the end there. First and 10, 15 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Our first play from scrimmage, it's a shotgun look, 3 wide receivers. Here is play action. Baker, quick pass to the outside, caught by Chris Godwin, who's got enough room for a Buccaneers first down. Chris Godwin was questionable this week with a knee injury, but he gave it a go, and he gets the game's first target, which is good enough for a first down. The clock will continue to roll now for the Bucs, moving left to right on your TV screen. I'll get a better look at the game cast there for you guys here in a second. But in the meantime, Baker Mayfield, 3 wide receivers and a tight end in motion. It's a shotgun handoff to Rashad White, who fights ahead for about 3 yards. He's down at the 38-yard line. It'll be second down. Kenny Clark at defensive end for Green Bay. Quay Walker at linebacker. Rashawn Gary at outside linebacker. Jonathan Owens at the safety position. They've been injured so far this season, but a lot of decent talent and some game wreckers out there for the Packers. Out of the shotgun now. 4 wide receiver set. Baker takes the snap, has time in the pocket, pumps, fires over the middle, has Rachaad White, who's got plenty of room to run around Green Bay defenders. He's finally pushed out of bounds after picking up a first down and about 15 more yards. Good protection by the Bucs offensive line. Plenty of time in the pocket for Baker Mayfield to find Rachaad White on the check down, who takes the pass and does some more work on the end of it. Another first down. And a big play on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers third-round pick. His first catch of the day. Offset eye now. O'Keefe at the fullback position. 2 wide receivers. Baker takes the snap. Hands it off to Rachaad White, who is swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. That is Slayton, big number 93, the lineman out of Florida, able to make a play, and it's going to be no gain. Scoreboard's up there on the top if you cannot see it. It's got the time, possession, should be updating. Single back look now, 2 wide receivers. Godwin, the man in motion. Rachaad White, the running back. Mayfield under center on 2nd and 9. Takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Rachaad White, who finds a hole, fights ahead for another 4 to 5 yards. He'll set up 3rd and manageable here. Third and 4 now for the Bucs. 12-10 left to go in this first quarter. Short yardage situation. Rachaad White on the sideline here. Empty backfield look. 5 wide receivers for Baker Mayfield. Trey Palmer, the man in motion. Baker takes the snap, has time, steps up, fires to the right. It's caught by Chris Godwin. His 2nd catch and 2nd first down of the day for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are cooking here on this opening drive. Yeah, solid drive so far. Just methodically picking up these first downs. And even with the short runs, it's a 3rd and 4. So you don't need that huge play. You don't need anybody to do anything extraordinary. You just need a little bit of time and a guy like Chris Godwin to get open. 1st and 10 now from the 19-yard line of Green Bay. Out of the shotgun. Chase Edmonds in the game now. And it's a little misdirection here. Play action end around to Devin Tompkins, but Green Bay telegraphs this well, and they will tackle him on the far sideline right behind the line of scrimmage. So it could be a loss of 1 for Tampa Bay. That's a play that they've used a lot this year. They've put it on film a few times, and luckily Green Bay did their homework. So not a lot going there. 2nd and 11. The Bucs are one of 6 teams in the NFL to not score an opening drive touchdown this season. Now out of the shotgun, 3 wide receiver set. Rachaad White back in the game. He will take this carry up the gut and get about 6 yards. Third and 6 now for Tampa Bay. Going to be interesting to see what Dave Canales can draw up here. The Bucs on 3rd down have been better than average this year, but this is an opening drive where you've had a couple of key conversions already. You want to keep the momentum going. Out of the shotgun now, 4 wide receivers. Godwin, the man in motion. Baker takes the snap. Pressure coming. Pump fakes. Has time. Tries to get away from pressure, and he will go down. Kenny Clark able to come up and make the play for the Packers defensive line. The Bucs will lose 6 yards, and here comes the field goal unit. So no touchdown on the opening drive, but depending on what Chase McLaughlin can do here, the Bucs elect to take the points and potentially a 3-point lead, but a tough way for that drive to end there, stalling out in the red zone. And you ultimately lose yardage on the Baker sack. Here comes Chase McLaughlin who has been fantastic for Tampa Bay this season from the right hash, 39 yards. Kick is up, and it is good right down the middle. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers ultimately come away with points on the first drive of the game, and they will take today's first lead. Bucs are up 3-0. 9:02 left to go in the first quarter here at Lambeau Field. They'll take a broadcast break, which means I'll talk to chat for a little bit. How are we feeling about that first drive, folks? Johnny Awesome says, hey, everyone. Not Dursale. I hope I said that correctly. He says, get well soon, James. Yes, get well soon. For anyone who does not know, James, very sick today, so just not able to do the live stream. Had a fever of, I believe, 103, so he ended up going to the doctor, got some antibiotics, hoping he should be back in action early this week to bring you guys some of the best Bucs coverage on YouTube. But if you cannot get enough, MrBucsNation, don't forget every Sunday, win, lose, or draw, right after the game, youtube.com/Canonfire Podcast, we are going to be live taking calls and breaking down everything from Week 15's game between the Bucs and Packers. It's always a great time talking to anyone who cares to call in. I will be joined by my co-host, Evan Wanish, who you may have seen on this channel before as well. Both of us tend to help James out every now and then, here and there. So if you're looking for somewhere to hang out after the game, hopefully we will see you there. But in the meantime, I am here filling in for James today, calling all of the action. So take it easy on me. James O says, we have hope with that drive. Luigi says, my God, we suck. Brandon Stevens says, nice drive, but I hate how we always stall out unless it's the last 5 minutes of the game. That's a fair point. Brutal as Buck says, solid start. Gedeke got beat on that 3rd and 6. Sponge XO, every first drive is like this. Start off good and then sputter near the end zone. Ryan Swain says, Devin White wasn't even top 5 on impact in 2020. Winfield, Sue, David, Vea, and Dean had more impact in my opinion. Peter says, first drive was good, minus play calling. Too freaking fancy, no need to. I agree. I do think, things started to fall apart when they decided to run the Devin Tompkins end around. When you go up against a team who has seen it time and time again, and when you've put it on film 7, 8, 9 times this season, eventually someone's going to read it, and that's exactly what happened there. Just bad timing. If you're going to call that, I don't know if the first drive of the game was very appropriate. Especially knowing how scripted those first 2-3 drives of the game can be. And the Packers are well aware of it. They took advantage there. Throw it to Mike, says Willis Hagen's Racing. Very good point. Did not see any targets for Mike Evans on that first drive. And while the Bucs were cooking, maybe you could have thrown Mike the ball in the red zone there. He's a guy who has come up big in that situation before. So Jake Camarda kicks this one off. Green Bay will let it float over the head of the returner. It'll go back in the end zone for a touchback. So here comes Jordan Love for the first time today. 11 interceptions so far this season, 23 passing touchdowns, which is tied for 5th in the NFL, 3,084 yards and a 61% completion percentage. It's been a lot of up and down so far this year for Jordan Love. We'll see what kind of player we get today as he will saddle up for his first offensive possession. KJ Britt starting in that linebacker spot next to Levante David today for the absent Devin White. Kalijah Cansey on the field as well. Devin Vita Vea also playing today. It's a shotgun look on 1st and 10. Quick pass for Love to the right side. He finds Romeo Doubs, who has it complete for about 8 yards. Zion McCollum pushes him out of bounds, but he is late in the coverage there. Aaron Jones back in the lineup today for Green Bay. He missed the last 3 games, but he is out there, number 33, the first time they've seen him in almost a month. But a broken thumb sidelines A.J. Dillon. So again, that potent 1-2 punch that they have at the running back position is going to have to wait for at least another week. 2nd and 3, now out of the shotgun. Aaron Jones, the running back. 2 wide receivers to the left. Bucs showing blitz. They bring the pressure. It's a handoff to Aaron Jones, who's got a ton of room, shakes a Bucs defender, and he's brought down on the other side of the 50-yard line. Big time first down and a gain of 21 on the first carry of the game for Aaron Jones, making his return today. Yeah, they pull the guard who gets a great block on Shaq Barrett there, and it ultimately opens the door for Aaron Jones. He hits the afterburners once he gets there. Out of the shotgun now, 2 running backs in the game, 3 wide receivers. From the 48-yard line, Jordan Love takes the snap. It's another inside handoff to Aaron Jones, who puts a shoulder down and picks up about 6 yards. Vita Vea with some help there on the tackle. Vita Vea, who was a game-time decision, active out there today for Tampa Bay. Logan Hall now checking into the game. Him and Kalijah Cansey make up the interior. Yaya Diaby, KJ Britt, Levante David out there. Jamel Dean, Antoine Winfield Jr., Zion McCollum. Out of the shotgun now on 2nd and 5, 2 wide receivers to the left. It's another handoff to Aaron Jones, who slips up behind the line of scrimmage, and KJ Britt with a huge play, able to take advantage for a tackle for loss. That's a big-time stop from KJ Britt, who is not a rookie, man. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is his 3rd season in Tampa Bay. He's been around the block, and he's a guy that I hope gets some more opportunity here to close out the season. He's a pretty good player. Had 8 tackles last week against the Falcons, which tied the leading tackler on the team. 3rd and 6 now, out of the shotgun. Green Bay with 4 wide receivers in. Takes the snap, drops back to pass, has plenty of time. Love fires to the left side. It's caught. Jaden Reed, number 11, with Christian Izien in coverage, able to make the big-time conversion. And it's just a deep out route there. Man coverage, Christian Izien can't keep up. That pass rush gives Jordan Love a little bit too much time, and he finds Jaden Reed downfield. First and 10 now. Under center is Jordan Love here. Single back look. Takes the snap. Inside carry to Aaron Jones, who breaks a couple of tackles, and he's brought down at the 19-yard line. Christian Izien makes the tackle. It's been some solid running aside from that big stuff from KJ Britt. Every time Aaron Jones gets the ball, he's picking up at least 4 or 5 yards. And that's going to have to cease. The Bucs cannot be this leaky all day if they expect to contain number 33. He's missed 6 games this season, has the fewest rushing yards per game in the NFL at 35, and the fewest yards per rush at 3.7. How fitting. 2nd and 5 now inside the red zone. It's a bunch wide receiver formation. Here is a handoff out of the shotgun to Aaron Jones yet again, who's got the first down, and then some, ultimately brought down by Kayvon Merriweather. He'll pick up about 8 yards, and it's a fresh set of downs for Green Bay in scoring position here. A lot of pre-snap motion here from Green Bay early on in the game, and some extra eye candy, as the announcers call it, the extra blocking tight ends out there. It looks like they're going to do more of the same here. 3 wide receivers and a tight end. Single back look. Love takes the snap, handoff to Aaron Jones, makes a cut inside, and he runs directly into Antoine Winfield Jr., but not before picking up an easy 8 yards. It'll be 2nd and short. No, Vita Vea playing today. He is out there. He may have checked out of the game momentarily, but he was on the game. He was actually in the game on this drive. He wasn't on that previous play. Greg Gaines currently in that spot. But Vita Vea was playing today. He just might be on a snap count because he was limited. 2nd and 3. Out of the shotgun now. 3 wide receivers and a man in motion. Aaron Jones, the back. It's an inside handoff to Jones. Breaks a tackle, and the Bucs ultimately bring him down before that first down marker. So he picks up maybe a yard or 2, but it'll be 3rd and short now as he's stopped behind the line to gain. James is sick this week. He will be back as soon as possible, but he woke up today with a fever of 103 degrees. So I'm going to be hanging out with you calling the game today. Big time 3rd down in the red zone for Green Bay. 3rd and 1. No Vita Vea on the field for Tampa Bay. Out of the shotgun. 2 wide receivers to his left. It's an inside carry to Aaron Jones, and the Buccaneers defensive line makes a huge play. Anthony Nelson in the backfield wraps him up behind the line of scrimmage, and the Buccaneers come up with a big-time stop. Big decision here for Green Bay, and it looks like Matt LaFleur going to keep the offense on the field 4th and 2. Inside the 10-yard line, Green Bay looking to score here. Can't do anything else on 4th and 2 except for maybe convert at the 2-yard line. Out of the shotgun, 3 wide receivers in this game. Now 1 in motion. That's Jaden Reed. Love takes the snap, has time, pressure coming, fires to the left, and he overthrows Jaden Reed. That pass falls incomplete. D. Delaney in coverage. No flags. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers make a big-time 4th down stop, and they will recover the football deep in their own territory. 1st and 10 for the Bucs from inside the 5 when the broadcast comes back. Huge play right there from the Buccaneers defense. I think an off-target Jordan Love, whether it was the product of a pass rush or not, is exactly what you want in that situation because it was a good play design. I don't know if I'd argue that Reed was open. D. Delaney was pretty tight in coverage, but if you're a good enough quarterback, you can definitely make that throw. And the Bucs count on an overthrow from Jordan Love. But the Bucs remain in the lead, 3-0. Yeah, big-time break for this Buccaneers team. And honestly, that's been the difference these last couple of weeks. I mean, Desmond Ridder was awful for Atlanta last week. And that's one of the only reasons the Bucs were in the game for as long as they were. So if the Bucs can be, I mean, obviously, if they can be the better team, they'll win today. But if they can play clean football and they can take advantage of some of these miscues that Green Bay is going to potentially have, I mean, it's going to be tough to take advantage here because it's not like they got the ball in favorable field position, you know? So I'm not going to be too upset if they don't go 98 yards down the field and score a touchdown. But the fact that they got to stop, you know, we're talking about a difference of potentially 3 to 7 points. And at the end of a game that could be as close as 20-17 could be all you need. So the Bucs just got to continue to play clean football, and stops like that are something that they can take advantage of at the end of the day, for sure. Mayfield's more used to playing in the cold than Jordan Love. I know Cleveland's very depressing place to play. I've never been there, but you hear so many stories about Ohio. But Baker actually played 2 games in Lambeau Field before today, and he lost both of them. He kind of sucked in both of them as well. We'll see if he can change that tune today, though. The Bucs offense with another chance to see what they can do. That opening drive, they were moving the ball well. Things kind of stalled out towards the end there when they ended up in the red zone, and they run that one end around with Devin Tompkins that they love to run maybe once a week now. Green Bay saw it coming, and after that, it just wasn't the same. But I'm going to be interested to see if they can first and foremost get themselves out of trouble here playing with their backs on the wall. Thank you, Richard. 1st and 10. The Bucs start this drive at their own 4-yard line. Baker Mayfield out of the shotgun. Rachaad White, the running back. 2 wide receiver set. It's going to be a handoff to Rachaad White, who's got a little bit of room. He is brought down from behind, but not before picking up about 4 yards. Man, he could have had probably 15, 20 yards if he wasn't able to be wrapped up from behind there. 2nd and 6 after the gain of 4 from Rachaad White. 2 minutes left to go and rolling here in the first quarter. The Bucs moving left to right on your television set. From the 9-yard line, out of the shotgun, 3 wide receivers to the left is Baker Mayfield. Play action here, has time, steps up in the pocket. Pressure from behind, that ball's out. Was it a fumble? Was it recovered by Green Bay? And it was. Man, that pocket started to collapse from behind, but Baker did have, for the most part, a clean pocket. Just took a little too much time, tried to step up and make the deep throw, and unfortunately that ball comes out. So the Packers will recover, and just as quick as the Buccaneers defense makes a stop in the red zone, they're going to have to do it again after a fumble from Baker Mayfield, just hanging on to the ball for too long. Man. Yeah, I was just talking about the importance of miscues and taking advantage, and that's exactly what I mean. You know, mistakes like that, the margin for error against a team like this who's playing for everything they have, it's very thin. First and goal, Jordan Love, single back look. It's an inside handoff to Aaron Jones, who has got no type of running lane at all. Bounces around behind the offensive line before he's ultimately brought down by Levante David and Kayvon Merriweather. Second and goal now. Clock's going to continue to roll as we approach 1 minute left in this first quarter. The Buccaneers held the ball for maybe 6 seconds of game time, if that. Baker 3 for 3, 47 yards and a fumble lost today. Second and goal now for the Packers. Jordan Love out of the shotgun. 3 wide receiver set with a man in motion. Takes the snap. Has plenty of time. It's a screen pass to the tight end who goes up and over. And he will score. Tucker Kraft. His second touchdown of the season, number 85, on a screen pass. Jumps up and over the Buccaneers defenders, and he will find the end zone to put Green Bay up. 7-0 now after the PAT is successful. Man, oh, man. Man, oh, man. Hey, Buck Wild, what's going on, man? Well, that's a tough start for Baker Mayfield. That's about as tough as it gets. I know that opening drive, they were moving the ball well, but the Bucs with a chance to take advantage of a big-time defensive stop, ultimately give up a touchdown. I mean, man, that's the worst possible case scenario. So, going to be paying close attention to see how this offense bounces back. That's all you can do. You can't stop now. Mistake has been made. Packers are ahead. You got to go out there and retake the lead. A lot of pressure on Baker Mayfield, who's playing for his job. Curious to see how he comes out and continues to play. Because, again, 3 for 3 passing, 47 yards. I'm not saying that play was forgivable. But the Bucs very much still in this game, 7-3. Just a one-possession game. They could get back on top with a touchdown here. So the offense will have another chance when we return from the broadcast commercial break. Baker has more time in the pocket, and he still sucks. Aaron says, Bucs win today, 28-21. Richard Fassett says, put in Craig Erickson. Brutal as Buck says, 48% completion percentage coming into this game. I'm not going to pile on Baker today. It's like making fun of. Oh, man. This was more on Canales than Baker. This is realtor David Zussman. As a Packers fan, I think it's going to be close. You also earned a sub. Thank you, Devontae Productions. Do appreciate that a lot. Yeah, I still think it's going to be a close game. I mean, we obviously saw the miscues from Jordan Love. He's not perfect. So it's going to be a battle of mid at the quarterback position today, apparently, because some fatal mistakes from both of them early in this game. Luckily, Jordan Love got the chance to redeem himself there. It's going to be a little bit tougher for Baker Mayfield, I think. But the Bucs do get the ball back here. So we'll see what they can do. We'll see what they can do. Definitely messes up the game plan now when you're playing from behind. You know, you were hoping the Bucs could dictate this game with the run. And honestly, Rachaad White had a couple of highlights so far this game. Not necessarily running the football, but he did set up third and manageable, which the Bucs were able to convert. He did have that one big 20-plus yard scramble on his first catch of the day. Would like to see him get more involved. But when you're playing from behind, it makes it tough to dictate the pace of the game with the run game. So we'll see what the Bucs decide to do here. High kick fielded by Devin Tompkins, but he'll call for the fair catch yet again. I don't know why he doesn't want to just return those. But I'm not a kick returner in the NFL, so I'm not gonna complain too much. But I guess we'll take the fair catch here. So after the turnover, with their backs against the wall, here comes Baker Mayfield yet again, looking to right the ship as the Bucs try and regain this lead. Trailing 7-3, 49 seconds left to go in the first quarter of this game. Out of the shotgun is Baker Mayfield, Rachaad White the back. 3 wide receiver set now with a man in motion. Here is the snap, inside handoff to Rachaad White, who lowers his shoulder and picks up about 7-8 yards. I think he expected contact and then never ran into it, because he put his head down and was able to shake off one defender, but kind of fell forward. I think if maybe he didn't sell out there on the power run, he could have picked up some more yardage, but positive yards for Rachaad White, which you do love to see there. 2nd and 2. 20 seconds left to go in the first quarter of this game. The Bucs come up to the line of scrimmage. Mayfield out of the shotgun yet again. Same formation as before. 3 wide receivers in the game. Here is the snap. Inside handoff to Rachaad White. Shakes a tackler and gets just enough for the first down. So the Bucs will move the chains, and he is brought down around the 35, 36-yard line. There he is, Willie Beeman, the moderator, hanging out with us today. Willie Beeman, a moderator for both this channel and my channel, the Cane and Fire Podcast. So hopefully Willie Beeman going to be over there in chat, hanging out with us after the game. Win, lose, or draw shortly after the game and the end of this live stream today. We will be live over on the Cane and Fire Podcast, taking some calls from listeners and breaking down everything that we saw in Week 15's game between Tampa Bay and Green Bay. The Battle of the Bays, if you will. Should be a lot of fun. Let's see if Baker can do better than backup quarterback Tommy DeVito last week. Hey, don't disrespect Tommy Cutlets. You know, maybe I'm saying that because I'm worried something will happen to me if I talk bad about Tommy Cutlets, but that's our boy. That's our boy, and he knows a lot of people. He knows a lot of people. Keep pounding, keep moving that chain. Go Buck, says Buck Wild. Peter says offense should center around run game and sprinkling in passes. Packs have a better pass rush than a run defense today, and I know nothing about coaching. I agree, Peter. 64.4 win percent probability for the Green Bay Packers today, according to Richard Fassett, after the first quarter of play. Oh, according to Hal from 2001. Got it. I always back Baker, but that fumble was on him. Held that way too long to be standing in front of our own end zone, I assume you meant. Just get rid of it. No one's open. WTF. Blew a massive stop by the defense. Very true. Very true. Play call was wrong. You don't call long-forming plays when you are buried in the 6-yard line. You wouldn't do this playing Madden. You surely wouldn't do this in a real NFL game. David, you would be surprised what people do on offense in Madden. But I get your point, and I will say, I think blame could be thrown in both directions there. I can understand the argument against Dave Canales. Maybe it's a bad play call. You don't want long developing plays, especially when you have a quarterback who's already prone to hanging on to the ball a little too long. So I think the blame could obviously fall both on Canales and Baker there. You know, Canales isn't the quarterback in the pocket hanging on to the ball, so that's the argument people are going to have as well. Execution got to be better. And hopefully on this drive, it will be. But after a Rachaad White first down, we are back. So they're going over the time that Baker had in the pocket, and it was 4.4 seconds when that ball was taken out of his hand. You're not going to get a clean pocket for 4+ seconds very often in the NFL, so you got to take advantage. Bucs out of the shotgun now on first down. Looks like an empty backfield. Mayfield, quick pass over the middle. There's Mike Evans, his first target and first catch today. He'll pick up about 15 yards and the first down for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. First time today for big number 13. You love to see that. Just a quick slant route and a very well-placed ball by Baker Mayfield, able to thread the needle there and find the greatest offensive player in Tampa Bay Buccaneers history. First down, Bucs. Clock will continue to roll here on 1st and 10. Shotgun look. Baker takes the snap, play action to Rachaad White, rolls to his right, finds a wide open Chris Godwin. Great blocking downfield from Mike Evans, and he will finally be brought down around the 23-yard line. Great play design, great blocks downfield, and a big-time play from Chris Godwin. You love to see it. Just a shallow cross route. Mike Evans gets a great block. And Chris Godwin gets a little bit of extra room there to do some great work for the Bucs offense, who are driving yet again. 1st and 10, approaching the red zone here from the 23-yard line. Baker out of the shotgun with 3 wide receivers in the game. Takes the snap. It's going to be an inside handoff to Rachaad White, who avoids some contact behind the line of scrimmage. Falls ahead for about a yard there. I'll tell you what, man, I am a big fan of seeing play action rollout with Baker Mayfield. Coming into this season, we knew that that's kind of when this guy plays the best. Like, I think Baker has been a quarterback throughout his career who is just notoriously better outside of the numbers for some reason. And big-time play design there proves just that. 2nd and 8 now. Single back power run look with Chris Godwin, the man in motion. Chase Edmonds, the running back in the game. Quick screen pass to Godwin, who makes a move on the right there. He picks up about 4 or 5 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and manageable. Big 3rd down for the Bucs here in Packers territory. This is about the field position where the first drive of the game sputtered. And here you are facing 3rd and 6. I'd like to see Dave Canales get into his bag of tricks here and do something to surprise me on 3rd and 6. We'll see what they come up with. 12.5 minutes left to go in the first half of the game. 3rd and 6. The Buccaneers looking to convert out of the shotgun. 3 wide receivers and a tight end. Chase Edmonds in the game. Here's the snap. Baker back to pass. Steps up in the pocket. Fires end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Mike Evans. Mayfield to Mike Evans. And he hands it to Jay Buck. There's our man, Jay Buck. I don't know if you guys know Jay Buck Sanders, but I believe that is him. And he just got the game ball from Mike Evans on his 11th receiving touchdown this season. Big time play. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a Chase McLaughlin PAT will take the lead and improve this game. Improve their score to 10. Sorry. Getting caught up here. It's getting tough. That was exciting. 7 plays, 75 yards for the Bucs, and a touchdown is what comes of it. So back on top in this game in the second quarter. Bucs lead 10-7. That's awesome. That's awesome. Mike Evans, how about that? Can't leave Mike that wide open, man. He found him in the seam, and he just makes it look easy. I just heard Baker is dedicating the touchdown to Brutal as Bucs. Yeah, great way for the Bucs and Baker Mayfield to bounce back there after the fatal mistake on the previous possession. You march right down the field, you score, and you take the lead back. So even though that fumble leads to points, the Bucs do not lose their hold of the game. You love to see it. seems like there's going to be a lot of discourse today about Baker Mayfield, and that's all right. That's all right. We appreciate all points of view in the chat. That's what it's there for. First Amendment, right? Freedom of speech. Say whatever you like. How are we feeling about Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers offense after that touchdown drive, though? An update from Richard Fassett, 55.2% win probability for the Bucs. Is he pulling that from here? Yes, he is. Okay, so we got it right here. There we go. Baker Mayfield today, 7 for 7, 108 yards and a touchdown. Man, if you did not watch the game and did not see that fumble, aside from that, Baker's been perfect. 7 for 7, 108 and a touchdown. You really can't ask for much more. 8 carries for 33 yards today from Rachaad White. 9 carries for 43 yards today from Aaron Jones. Godwin, your leading receiver so far in this first half. 4 receptions for 51 yards. Big time day for Chris Godwin. And Jaden Reed, the leading receiver for Green Bay. 1 catch for 20 yards. Yasiel says, still optimistic to Baker. Peter says, much too early to panic. Ready says, getting their ish together. Willie Beeman says, if Baker keeps it up, we might be drafting a wide receiver in the first round. That's a hot take. Is Baker the franchise QB going forward? Asks Vicarious. That's the $1 million question, isn't it? I wish I could answer that for you. I wish I had an answer for you today. But I just don't. I just do not. It's going to be pretty telling. And these last few games in the season are going to go a long way. Baker Mayfield's got the biggest coat on the sideline. I don't know if you guys remember the meme from a couple of years ago with Brady and that monstrous coat that he was wearing at Lambeau, but it looks like Baker's got the same one. That's awesome. So the Green Bay Packers will take back over on offense here, following a touchback on the kickoff from Jake Kamar to Jordan Love with another chance to try and lead his team to the end zone here. Not quite going to be gifted a possession, so it'll be interesting to see just how well they are able to do it, but they will start from their own 25-yard line. It's a pistol look now with a man in motion. Jordan Love, play action, has plenty of time in the pocket, but he's not going to get away. The Buccaneers pass rush able to get him. More of a coverage sack, but regardless, a big-time loss. And guess what? The big day continues for KJ Britt at that linebacker position. Big-time tackle for loss, and he gets himself a sack. It has been an awesome first half for KJ Britt. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to be the one to say it. If he gets another sack or another big-time play today, maybe I will, but I'm not going to say it yet. Some people might know what I want to say. I'm not going to say it yet. But a big play from KJ Britt. 2nd and 12 out of the shotgun. 3 wide receivers and a tight end in the game for Jordan Love. Offset. Oh, quick pass. Almost intercepted there by Antoine Winfield Jr., but it's Heath able to bring that one in. I reacted the way that I did because I thought it was intercepted at first, to be honest with you. Antoine Winfield came screaming into that play. Out of the shotgun now for Jordan Love. 3rd and 7. Packers need a conversion here. Out of the shotgun. 3 wide receivers now with a man in motion. That's Jaden Reed. Oh, looks like they got some movement up front, and I think that's against Tampa Bay. They got him on the snap count there. Yeah, that just can't happen. That's Marquise Watts, number 58. On the neutral zone infraction there, which makes a 3rd and 7, now a 3rd and 2. Could be a costly mistake if the Bucs cannot stop the conversion here. Vita Vea not on the field here. We'll see what they can do. 3rd and 2 out of the shotgun. 4 wide receivers out there for Jordan Love. It's an inside handoff. No, it's a quick fake pass to Kraft over on the left side, and the tight end rumbles and stumbles his way downfield for a big-time first down. Little play action screen pass to the tight end once again, and it's just, the slowest player on their offense somehow is the most open player on their offense. Just a quick out route there. The Bucs could not account for it, and he's able to convert. Yeah, got to be disciplined. The Bucs so far today they've been better. I will argue they've been better these last couple of weeks, but, that's just backbreaking right there. Could have got off of the field. Under center with a single back look. 3 wide receivers now with Jaden Reed in motion. Play action. Love drops back to pass. Steps up in the pocket. Fires deep downfield. He's got Kraft, who is wide ass open again. Tries to hurdle D. Delaney, and he's ultimately brought down on the sideline, but I don't know how you let that guy get that open. First down. Yeah, he did hurt himself with that leap. Maybe trying to get a little too flashy, believing in the hype there. But regardless, you cannot let him get that open. Not sure what the breakdown in coverage was. Levante David, D. Delaney, all in that relative area. But just can't happen. Cannot happen. Yeah, he is hurting. First and 10, out of the shotgun with a man in motion. It's going to be an inside handoff to the backup running back who they thought dropped the ball, stalled behind the line of scrimmage, and the Bucs ultimately bring him down. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, the first one to tackle him there. It's now 2nd and 10. It's Kenyon Drake. I didn't even know Kenyon Drake was in Green Bay. Looks like it was a bobbled handoff. He almost dropped it. Was able to hang on with one hand and look ahead, but by the time he gets there, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka and KJ Britt already able to make a play on the runner. So he goes nowhere. 2nd and 10. 8.5 minutes left to go now. Shotgun look with 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers on the field. One of them in the running back position being Jaden Reed. Takes the snap. Jordan Love has time. Quick out route to Jaden Reed, and he is brought down immediately by Christian Izien, who telegraphed that one all the way. Tried to get Jaden Reed on a quick little, I guess just run him out to the flat there, and Izien did a good job recognizing that route, and he shuts it down. Great tackle as well. 3rd and 9. Green Bay 2 for 3 today on 3rd down. Out of the shotgun with 3 wide receivers and a tight end. Running back in the game as well. Jordan Love takes the snap. Pressure coming. Fires to the left. Has it complete to Aaron Jones, but he is well short of the marker. Is KJ Britt in coverage, able to force him out of bounds. It'll be 4th down. I think they're going to bring out the field goal unit here and attempt to tie this one up. After going for it on 4th down in the red zone earlier in the game, Jordan Love was off target, and that kick from Anders going to be good. And it'll tie this game up 10-10 now. With 7 minutes left to go in the second quarter of this game, it's getting interesting, man. Both teams with a lot to play for today. Anders Carlson now 21-26 on the season from 36 yards out. He nails this one. Let's take a quick break on the broadcast, which means it gives me just enough time to check in with the live chat once again. How are we doing, beautiful people? This game all tied up at 10. And a fatal mistake by Marquise Watts, honestly. That's going to come back to haunt them potentially. 3rd and 7 turns into 3rd and 2. You got to get off of the field. You got to get off of the field. You can't let that happen. No good. It was too high. It was good. Scores 10-10. Where is Shaq? Good question. Good question. That's a question that we've been asking ourselves all year is where is Shaq Barrett? You know, games like today, you're going to need him to step up, and he hasn't really been that guy today. I think he has 1 tackle for loss, and that's because the runner kind of ran into it. Rhett, thank you for filling in. We appreciate it, especially those of us that can't watch the game live. Thank you for having me, James. I appreciate you guys. And, you know, I only get to talk to you a couple of times a year, but I appreciate whenever James lets me fill in. It's always a really fun time doing this. Baker feels dangerous today in the cold. Yeah, apparently he does. Again, aside from that one fatal miscue with the fumble in inside your own 5-yard line. Aside from that, he's 7 for 7, 108 yards and a touchdown today. So the offense has found ways to move the football. And I would argue outside of that one series of unfortunate events, they have played well. They didn't have Aaron Jones playing against the Giants. That is true. And Aaron Jones, I mean, he has picked up about as well as they would have hoped. You know, you were thinking a guy who has missed the last several games would need a little bit to get going, but as soon as he touched the football today, he was running for 4, 5, 6 yards. So he's been playing well today. Yeah, I try not to be too hard on Shaq because of his situation, but I really do miss his production. I think it's going to be interesting what the Bucs decide to do with him this offseason. I think some tough decisions are going to be made. Outside of the free agents that we already talk about, Shaq Barrett is a guy whose contract, you know, they've kicked the can down the road with it. He's another one who's, I believe he's got some void years on that deal that they're going to have to address at some point. So we'll see what the Bucs decide to do. But he's another guy who I don't think his job is entirely safe regarding who's going to be here and who's not next season in Tampa Bay. After the field goal, Devin Tompkins back deep to return. We'll see if he just waits for a fair catch, and he will, regardless of it being a short kick, and he takes it at the 5. The Bucs will take over at the 25-yard line. I think they're benching him. Seems like Nelson is getting more time this game. I don't know. Todd Bowles did make a really pretty tough decision this week with he did make a tough decision with Devin White this week. So I don't know. Maybe there were some more tough decisions we don't know about yet. Here comes the Bucs offense out of the shotgun. Chase Edmonds, the running back in the game. And it's going to be whistled dead. Is this a delay of game? Or is this a false start? A snap infraction. So that's on Robert Hainsey, who again is not a natural center, but he has started every game for the Buccaneers between 2022 and 2023 at the center position. So he probably won't be your center next year. Just to give you an idea of how put together our interior line is. A bad penalty there, the second of the day for the Bucs. 1st and 15 out of the shotgun, Baker Mayfield. Chase Edmonds in the game, 3 wide receivers. It's a handoff to Edmonds, who shakes a couple of defenders, and he picks up a lot of yardage there, 10-plus yards on first down for Chase Edmonds, who averaged 5 yards a carry last week, 40 yards on just 8 carries. And a running back, too, when you don't get that many opportunities to produce, you love to see what Chase Edmonds has been doing when he does get these opportunities. He's been huge on the field for the Bucs, especially last week. 2nd and 6 now after the gain of 9. Chase Edmonds still in the game. Baker under center. Single back look. 3 wide receivers now. Takes the snap. It's another handoff to Edmonds. Bounce over to the right side, and he is brought down, but not before picking up a handful more yards. So it'll be 3rd and very short. Coming up on 6 minutes left to go in the first half of this game. The Bucs looking to convert. Have had decent success on 3rd down today, but you'd hate to see this drive stall out right here. 3rd and 4. Tampa Bay looking at 3rd and 4. 4 wide receiver set. Baker out of the shotgun. Cade Otton in the slot. Takes the snap. Has time. Looking. Fires. And it's a duck. I think someone got there. Yeah, that pass falls incomplete. Rashawn Gary able to get to Baker Mayfield and hit him just enough to disrupt that pass. Yeah, just enough. I think he saw Chris Godwin there on a crossing route, but just does not get the ball to him soon enough. So it'll bring up 4th and 4, and that drive fizzles out for Tampa Bay. Jake Camarda now averaging 50 yards a punt. His longest being 74 this season, comes out to boot it away for the Bucs on 4th and 4. 5th in the NFL in average this year. He has been a great addition to this Bucs special teams unit since they drafted him a couple of years ago. Oh, great bounce. Look at that. This could be punt of the year from Jake Camarda if they can finally field it. That was Pitts Jr. trying to get a hold of it, but they finally bring it down 66 yards and a stoppage inside the 5. Great punt from Jake Camarda. Was just talking about how great of an addition he has been for this Buccaneer special teams unit, and he proves why right there, coming in big time. I remember how everybody felt when Jason Licht drafted a kicker. I think they got him in the 5th round. I remember how everybody felt. I remember how they felt. Yeah, that penalty really did kill that drive. I mean, we look at both of these series for the Bucs, giving up the points to Green Bay with the offsides on Marquise Watts, and then the snap infraction on Robert Hainsey puts them back, and they just can't recover. So you hate to see it. Let's get a safety. It would be nice. It would be nice, David. I think the closest the Bucs have been to getting a safety these recent weeks. I don't even want to say recent weeks. It was that Shaq Barrett pick 6 against the Bears. What was that, week 2? You remember? I remember. Did they get a safety last week? Do I not remember that? Forgive me if I don't remember a safety last week. I remember the Carlton Davis almost pick 6, and then I guess they did get a safety, didn't they? I think it was a safety, and at first I expected it to be a turnover touchdown, but I guess it was a safety. Okay, it was Winfield. Thank you for refreshing my memory. Antoine Winfield forced, yes, it was a strip sack in the end zone. I remember that now. Thank you. I do remember that now. When you said Antoine Winfield Jr., I remember. So it looks like we are back live from Lambeau Field. Just kidding. We get another commercial for a pointless show that's going to be canceled in the next few seasons. Okay, thank you, CBS. Now we are live from Lambeau Field. The Bucs defense going to get another crack at it with some great field position to boot, thanks to Jake Camarda getting that kick inside the 5. The Packers will take over at their own 3-yard line. Out of the shotgun now, Kenyon Drake back in the game for Green Bay. Playing with their backs against the wall, similar to how the Bucs were a couple of drives ago. Out of his own end zone, 3 wide receiver look for Jordan Love, all of them at the bottom of the screen. Moving left to right, Jordan Love heaves it downfield, and it's almost caught, but incomplete. Christian Izien in coverage. Jaden Reed looking for a flag, and I think he's going to get one. No way. Christian Izien, defensive pass interference. Oh, good God. Well, that great field position we talked about just wiped away after 32 yards from the penalty. These penalties have come fast and furious for the Bucs. That is unfortunate here. I think it's that contact. So Christian Izien was running from behind, and he didn't necessarily break any rules. I mean, we're just going to ignore Logan Hall being held. But he didn't necessarily break any of the DPI rules, but as he was running to catch up, he made a little helmet-to-helmet contact, and they're going to throw the flag every time. 1st and 10 from the 36. Quick pass, and it is knocked down by Zion McCollum. Able to close quickly and make the play there. Looking for Dante Wicks, the receiver on that right side. Yeah, 6'2". They're highlighting Zion McCollum, and you talk about the long players in the Buccaneers secondary. He's a blueprint of what they like. 2nd and 10 out of the shotgun now. 2 wide receivers on top of the screen. Drops back to pass. Love has time. Fires over the middle. Has a wide open number 87. I believe that's Romeo Dubes. Finds him on a drag route. They're able to move the chains on 2nd and 10. You hate to see that. Man, misdirections all over the place. You got Jamel Dean running into guys and falling down. It's just been a lot of eye candy and a lot of smart play calling, honestly, from Matt LaFleur and the Packers offense today. 1st and 10 now, approaching midfield from the 43-yard line. Empty backfield, 4 wide receivers for Love. Takes the snap. Pressure coming. Levante David able to get there. And that pass does fall incomplete, but very nice pressure on the edge from Levante David coming in off of the blitz. And as long as you got 54 out there, you've got a competent linebacker who can make a difference at any point of the game, and he almost did there. Big-time pressure in the face of Jordan Love, and the Bucs come up with an incompletion. 2nd and 10. under center for Jordan Love. Aaron Jones, the running back in the game. Single back look with Jaden Reed in motion. Drops back to pass. Quick screen pass to Aaron Jones, who's got blockers, but not going to get very far across the line to gain, as he is brought down right around midfield by several Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah, no kidding, Luigi. Third and 6, so only a gain of 4 on the screen pass. Luckily, it wasn't more, but going to need a big-time stop here if this Bucs defense wants to get off of the field. Vita Vea on the field. The Bucs showing a 4-man front. Stack the box here. 3rd and 6, empty backfield for Jordan Love. Play clock ticking. This is a delay of game. And the flag will come out. Thank God they saw it. So a delay of game on the offense makes it a tougher 3rd down look for the Green Bay Packers. So instead of 3rd and 6, they're looking at 3rd and 11 now. Tied 3rd most in the NFL for penalties with 90 overall entering Week 15. The Packers are not in great shape. 3rd and 11 out of the shotgun now. 3 wide receivers and a tight end in the slot for Jordan Love. Takes the snap. Pressure coming. Steps up in the pocket. Fires over the middle. Pass is bobbled and it's caught by Jaden Reed. But Levante David and Kayvon Merriweather in coverage, able to bring him down immediately. So the Bucs will get off of the field on 4th down. Here comes the punt unit. Never mind. Nope. 4th and 6. They're going to go ahead and go for it here. Right around midfield. Looks like Jaden Reed took a rough hit on that last play. He's over on the sideline. But with 3 minutes left to go, LaFleur going to keep the offense on the field. Big time 4th down coming up for Tampa Bay. Got to watch the snap count. Have to watch the snap count. 4 seconds left to go on the play clock. Got to get the play off here. Jordan Love, another delay of game. Another delay of game. Good. Good. I was expecting a late timeout. I was expecting Green Bay to call another timeout there that we didn't see, but nope, it's just back-to-back execution errors. And a 3rd and 6 turns into a 4th and 16. Wow. Just too late. Just too late. Too many pre-snap adjustments there, and not in the right frame of mind there. They do not get the playoff in time, so a positive push in yardage for the Bucs. Back deep now to return is Devin Tompkins. They were right around midfield. Now they're kicking this football from the 32-yard line. That punt is up and away. Not a great punt either. Devin Tompkins waits for the fair catch at the 10-yard line. I wish he would just return one of these today. I really do. They did it on purpose. It was to draw us off sides. Okay, I understand. Thank you. We need to take advantage of these mistakes. Love is young, gonna make mistakes. Tom Grossi probably yelling and screaming. It probably is a funny stream right about now. I thought it was on purpose to give the punter more room and possible to get them to go off sides. Delay a game puts the ball on the 11. Okay, thank you. The Bucs have already jumped off sides today from the snap count. So I guess they've shown that they are prone to that today. Brandon Stevens, Jets suck. Knew I should not have taken them +8. Sorry, bastards. You know, I don't know what it is about sports betting, especially football, but it makes me upset. I like sports betting. I like sports betting a lot. I like betting basketball. I like betting hockey. I don't like betting football. I don't like betting football at all. It's not fun. You always think you have a general idea of how that game is going to go, and then it doesn't. You know, for example, I put together a ticket today. Today's probably my last day on Prize Picks because of how scummy they can be at times, but I put in a ticket today that was Rachaad White more than 96.5 rush plus receiving yards. Now, he is at 57 for the day, so I do like that. Desmond Ridder, more than 26 pass attempts. He's at 11. I don't know how great I feel about that, but I know that game is closing in on halftime. And then I also got Bryce Young. More than 185.5 pass plus rushing yards, which doesn't seem like a lot. Especially for Carolina playing Atlanta today. But guess how many passing yards that Bryce Young has in the first 2 quarters of that football game? 25. 25. You look at a line like 185.5 before the game, and you're like, that might not be too hard to hit. The analytics favored Young this week as well. I take a lot of that into account, but man, oh man. Yeah, I don't like betting football anymore. It's not fun. It's just not fun. Rich, you got to try teasers? I don't know what teasers is. I'm probably going to go to underdog though. We do have Hard Rock Bet, which just opened here in Florida, but that's just straight bets. I kind of like the daily fantasy approach, so I might try underdog because they've got the deposit match. 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. It's going to be an inside handoff to Rachaad White, who tries to fight ahead for yardage and doesn't get much of anything there. 2nd down. I got $1,000 on the Packers to beat the spread. Good luck. What's the spread? I think it's 4. I think it's +4. I think it's on here, actually. Oh, maybe it's not. Maybe they take down the betting odds after the game starts. So we are at the 2-minute warning officially following that carry for Rachaad White. It'll be 2nd down for the Bucs when they return from break here. I guess they took down the betting odds once the game started. Oh, Green Bay 3.5 over under 41.5. 3.5. Teasers are a type of bet. It's basically a parlay with a +6 point spread advantage. Interesting. I'll tell you what I need more in my life is degeneracy. So maybe I'll take you up on that. I got 100 on Cash App for Buccaneers. Well, I'm not encouraging anyone to bet. I'm not going to tell anyone to bet. That's not what this is here for. So I am not taking any bets, nor will I... what's the word? Nor will I influence any bets. And anything betting that I talk about today is surely advice. Or not advice? I don't know what I should legally say to CYA, but you know what I mean. Hal, we can see your comments now. If you were typing some heinous stuff before, we may not have been able to see it, but now we can. FanDuel should be sponsoring you. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it? We've been trying to, actually we've had over on the Cane and Fire podcast, you can see up in that corner, we've been sponsored by Bet Online the last couple of years, but in full transparency, I don't know if that contract is still going because I don't think they still run ads on our show. So we could be looking for another bet sponsor. Now that I like sports betting a lot more than I did, 2-3 years ago when we first signed our contract with Bet Online, then I'll try and find someone, who I can actually endorse because I use their product. Like, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. 2nd and 9 now for the Buccaneers, fresh out of the 2-minute warning, left to go. 2 minutes left in this first half. Baker Mayfield, 3 wide receivers and a tight end. Quick screen pass to Mike Evans, who makes the completion over on the right side of the field, but well short of the first down marker. He'll pick up about 3-4 yards. So it'll be 3rd and, I don't want to say short, but somewhere around 3rd and 5 for Tampa Bay. And they're going to take their time. The clock continues to roll under 1:40 now, still in the huddle. 3rd and 3. The Bucs have been solid today on 3rd down. A minute and a half left to go. Baker Mayfield out of the shotgun. 3 wide receiver set and the tight end out there. Quick pass to the right side. It is complete. Caught. Chris Godwin with a gain of 8 yards will pick up the first down for Tampa Bay. And they're going to come up and hurry up out of the huddle here. I don't know what that call was. I don't know what that hand signal was. Baker out of the shotgun, quick pass to the right side, pumps, fires downfield for David Moore, his first catch of the day. His first catch in a while, and the clock will continue to roll. 50 seconds left to go. The Bucs hurry up to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10, out of the shotgun. Baker with 4 wide receivers. Takes the snap, looking to pass yet again, has time, fires over the middle, deep downfield, caught, Chris Godwin. How about that? They will burn a timeout, their first of the half with 36 seconds left to go. But a big-time gain, and now they are knocking on the door of the red zone inside Green Bay territory. Yeah, I know what that hand call was. I don't know if I wasn't going to describe it. Yeah, that hand... That's one of the wildest hand signals I've ever seen in a 2-minute drill, but props to Baker Mayfield. He pulled that off well. That made me laugh. 36 seconds left to go, and the Buccaneers driving down the field here with a purpose. Just called their first time out of the half. So they have some time to draw something up here on 1st and 10 from Green Bay's 33-yard line. There we go. Baker drops back to pass, and he is brought down. Big-time sack. He'll lose 8 yards. Lucas Van Ness able to come up big time there. The defensive lineman, number 90. So the Bucs will take another timeout here with 31 seconds left to go. Yeah. Second and 19. 3 sacks in this first half given up by Tampa Bay, and that one probably the worst of the day so far. Could potentially slow down a hot drive that the Bucs had. "31 seconds left to go on 2nd and 19 following an 8-yard loss. 9-yard loss, excuse me. Out of the shotgun now, 4 wide receivers. Cade Otton in the slot. Baker has time to pass, steps up in the pocket, trying to get away, and he just can't. Throws it into the turf, and the flag comes out. What is this flag? Offensive holding on Luke Gedeke, the right tackle. So 2nd and 19 going to turn into potentially, what is this, 3rd and a mile? Are they going to lose a down? 2nd and 29, excuse me. So they will replay 2nd down. Green Bay will accept the penalty. 2nd and 29 yards for Tampa Bay. 4 penalties for 52 yards here between the last 2 series. Man, oh man. 2nd and 29 out of the shotgun. Baker drops back to throw, steps up in the pocket, fires deep down the right side. Caught! Chris Godwin. Back in field goal range for Tampa Bay, short of the first down marker, but as they hurry up to the line of scrimmage, they will take their 2nd timeout. 19 seconds left and a big-time play from Chris Godwin, who is seemingly full of them today. Yeah, Chris Godwin makes the catch on the sideline there, and I guess he tries to just look it in and go upfield, but regardless, he doesn't make it out of bounds, so the Bucs burn a timeout there to stop the clock. In field goal range, Chris Godwin with 108 yards receiving the first half of this game. I believe a career high. 114 yards receiving on 7 catches for Chris Godwin today. Got to be a career high for at least first half. 19 seconds left. The Bucs facing a tough 3rd and 5 here. Going to be interesting to see how aggressive they decide to get. But they have the football to close out the first half here potentially. Out of the shotgun, 3 wide receivers and a tight end. Chris Godwin, the man in motion. And we got a Green Bay timeout. 20th career 100-yard receiving game for Chris Godwin, who the Bucs have slowly but surely worked back into this offense. We know last week was a bit of a work in progress because outside of the 3 touchdowns, the offense didn't blow anyone away, although they did make the right plays on the game-winning drive. This week, it has been all fireworks for Chris Godwin, up over 100 yards in the first half of this game. Baker today, 12 for 13, 187 yards, 1 touchdown, and then, of course, the lost fumble. 3rd and 5 now for the Bucs back out on the field. 3 wide receivers to the left, a tight end to the right. Bucs moving right to left on your screen. Chris Godwin, the man in motion. Baker out of the shotgun, takes the snap, has time, fires to the right sideline, and nobody home. Looking for Chris Godwin, but maybe there was miscommunication. Maybe they just wanted to get the ball out of his hands. But regardless, with 14 seconds left to go in the first half, here comes Chase McLaughlin on 4th and 5. So from 46 yards away, it looks like this field goal is up, and it is good. I appreciate the chat letting everybody know, including myself. From the right hash, Chase McLaughlin. It is up, and it is good. So the Bucs take the lead back with 10 seconds left to go in the first half of this game, 13-10. So depending on how aggressive Green Bay wants to get on this next possession, the Bucs could hang on to this lead into halftime. But that is a drive that could have looked very different. You know, cannot take sacks at that point in the game, especially with that field position. And regardless of a big play from Chris Godwin, just a mental lapse, you got to burn an extra timeout. Potentially takes away your chance at another play that you can run on offense before lining up for the field goal. Just kind of fell apart in some key moments there, but regardless, the Bucs are lucky they came away with points, and if their defense can hang on, they'll have the lead headed into halftime. Love taking points before the half. We need to stop taking the ball first. So much better when you get the ball after halftime. Seems like we have the ball first every week, doesn't it? Yeah, it seems like whenever the Bucs play a team who wins the coin toss, they defer. These opposing teams love to see the Bucs offense with the ball. So there's definitely got to be a method to the madness if teams are doing it every single week. So they're going to make this return. And O'Keefe able to make the tackle right around the 25-yard line. So 4 seconds left for Green Bay to work. We'll see how aggressive they decide to get with potentially one play. I think they just kneel this one out, if I have to guess. So there is the end of the first half. They will knee this one out, and the Bucs head to the locker room with the lead, 13-10. Both teams sitting here at 6-7 in the Battle of the Bays, looking to get some ground in the NFC playoff hunt. The Bucs looking to maintain their winning ways and hopefully continue to contend for an NFC South division title, which would be their 3rd straight. And the Packers very much in need of that last wildcard spot in the NFC. Luckily for both of these teams, historically mid performance across the NFC. I think headed into this week, there were 6 teams with a 6-7 record in the NFC, which is the most in any conference ever since they started keeping track of win-loss records in the respective conferences. So it's been a lot of bad this year among the NFC, which makes the playoff hunt that much more exciting. Believe it or not, here we are, week 15 of the NFL season. 30 out of 32 teams still have a statistical shot of the postseason. So it's going to come down to the wire. But how are we feeling at halftime, ladies and gentlemen? The Bucs on top 13-10 in Lambeau. Make adjustments during the half. That's why they know we don't, as far as, regarding why teams win the toss and then defer to the second half, says JBCDs. Aaron says, right, the other team wants to set the tone. We don't score, they do. Now we're in a hole. Grossi Raid, let's go. Shout out, ladies and gentlemen, to the man himself from the Patcast, Tom Grossi, coming in with a big-time raid. Everybody from his chat checking in. Kyle Goldman, Dadpool, Matt B, Luke Hoekstra, Jeremiah Quinn, anybody else that I may have missed. There are a lot of people in as we have just doubled our viewer count. Thank you so much, guys. Excited to have you here. And we are excited for an entertaining game so far. I know not a lot of people were expecting a fun game coming into this. It's a couple of mid-teams as far as the NFL is concerned. But it's always a lot of fun when these two franchises get together, and it's been no disappointment so far. The Grossi Posse says hello. Thank you guys so much. I got to tell you this. My name is Rhett. I'm filling in for the owner of this channel, James Hill, MrBucsNation, who, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show Loki before, but if you know how variants work, I'm convinced that James is just a variant of Tom Grossi. Like, he's the closest thing we have to the Bucs version of Tom Grossi, and he's a huge fan. I know he takes a lot of inspiration from Tom, so this would probably mean the world to him. It means the world to me, and we are incredibly excited. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Liked and sub, says Tracy, sending love to you all. We really do appreciate it. That's awesome, dude. Grossi Posse checking in. How about that? Let's see if we can FaceTime James for this monumentous occasion. I know he's not feeling the best. I know he's a little under the weather, but this is big news, man. We got to let him know. We got to let him know. Let's see if we can get him on the FaceTime here. He's got to be watching, right? I know he's definitely watching the game. I mean, if he's a host with any sort of integrity, he's definitely watching the game, right? Right? Waiting on James. Oh, come on, James. Come on, James. Is that him? Is that James? Is that MrBucsNation? Oh, you're live, buddy. I just wanted you to say hello to the people. I won't show you on camera because, to be honest, you look like crap, but I'm very happy to hear from you.
Hey, I'm happy. I'm actually listening in. I don't have the game on right now. I actually am dealing with the fever right now as we speak, so I am frozen. But listening to you is helping me. So
did you hear that we got visited by the Grossi Posse?
I did. Thank you to the Grossi Posse and Tom, great guy. This is the second raid this year, so I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful. And anybody watching, if you're new, go ahead and subscribe. If you're enjoying the stream, and Rhett, hit the like button, and go subscribe to his channel at the Cannon Fire Podcast as well. Go give him some love because he's killing it with this play-by-play right now.
Well, it was good to hear from you, buddy. I appreciate your kind words, and I hope you feel better. I really do. You look like you're roughing it.
Oh, I'm under 2 blankets. I'm wrapped in my T-shirt, and medicine is my best friend.
Very nice. Well, we will talk to you soon enough, and the people love you and cannot wait to hear from you. We'll see you soon, bud.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Go Bucs. There he is, the man himself, James Hill, MrBucsNation. Glad we got a little bit of a check-in there at halftime. I was going to ask him his thoughts on the game so far, but he doesn't really sound like he's in the best condition to talk about the game right now. But we do get an appearance from the man himself, MrBucsNation, on this week's MrBucsNation Game Day Reaction live stream. Will James be able to stream with Billy this week? I think, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think they normally do their podcast on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. If I had to guess, I think by Tuesday he'll be back to 100%, or at least as close as he can be. Hot Toddy will help too. Chris says, need to clean up the penalties in the second half. I agree. The Bucs were playing a relatively clean game until I think it was 2 or 3 drives where it was just back-breaking penalty after back-breaking penalty. The Christian Izien pass interference gives up 32 yards in penalty yards. Obviously Baker Mayfield taking the sack, but then a further penalty, which makes it 2nd and 29. Just a tough look. Thank you again to everybody checking in from the Grossi Raid. Shout out to the Tom Grossi posse. Tom Grossi, host of the Pat Cast. I believe also doing a live game day stream today. Love to see it. Thank you guys so much. Drink Hennessy, says MK. Good Lord, man. I would never question James' integrity. Maybe I did bring it into question while I didn't think he was going to answer the phone, but he answered the phone, which ended my questioning. James proved to me that he is the ultimate journalist, which I agree. So here we are still at halftime. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers ahead in this game despite being behind in time of possession, 13-10, your score for through the first 2 quarters. The Bucs also ahead in total yardage, 211 total yards today. 1 turnover being the Baker Mayfield lost fumble in enemy, or I guess their own territory. I keep confusing what I'm trying to say on that statement, but you know what I'm trying to say. 10 first downs on the day for the Bucs to Green Bay's 8. Take a look at the win probability here, 50.6% as we check in at halftime. And your leading players, Baker Mayfield on the day passing 12 for 14, 187 yards and a touchdown, plus 1 fumble lost. Jordan Love, 11 for 14, 106 yards and a touchdown. Rachaad White, 9 carries for 34 yards. Seemed like in that second quarter, they shied away from handing the football to Rachaad White. Didn't see a lot of carries, did see some positive yards from Chase Edmonds. But haven't seen Rachaad White work his way back into this game. Would love to see that because Aaron Jones on the other side of it has 9 carries for 43 yards. Chris Godwin, your leading receiver for Tampa Bay, 7 receptions for 108 yards. A monster game for him. He's been needing one of these this year. And then Tucker Kraft, the tight end, the leading receiver for Green Bay, 3 receptions, 49 yards, and a touchdown off of that screen pass that we saw earlier in this game. Green Bay's only touchdown in this contest. Matt Diaz checking in, says, let's go, guys. Pleasure to see you, Matt. Tiki Fire says they picked Baker due to his experience. Mobility was secondary to that. Yes, the experience part definitely played a factor. When you signed Baker Mayfield, I think from the minute they signed him, everybody kind of had a feeling that he was going to be the starter week 1. I know that we talked a lot about the quarterback competition with Kyle Trask, but I still think the Bucs were expecting Baker to be the guy when they signed him, and I think that was a notion they headed into that QB battle with already. Yeah, great question from Mikey Kelly. Where is everybody watching the game? I know that every now and again we've got some international viewers, some people all over the U.S. I am in Tampa, Florida, down here watching the game. It was a very, very rainy night. I think the meteorologists around here really make a lot of money on the extra viewers that they get whenever Tampa's facing a rainstorm, because it seems like the storm that we had last night was made into a much bigger deal than it should have been, but that's kind of how they do hurricanes down here as well. But luckily, everybody's safe down here. Thank you, Daniel, for subbing to the Cannon Fire podcast. We'll see you there after the game. We'll be live taking some calls. If you feel like chiming in, maybe we'll take your call. California on YouTube says, Covina Man. David Black, Cleveland, Ohio. I'm clearly a Baker fan. Jenna Pitcher says, Australia. What in Connecticut? Are we there yet? Says Visalia, California, San Joaquin Valley. Johnny Awesome says, I'm in New Mexico, still a Bucs fan. Rob, Los Angeles, while delivering packages for USPS. Bucs fan mailman. I like that. Rolls off of the tongue. Citizen X in Spring Hill. Daniel J., I'm at my house in California and just watching YouTube live streams and cannot wait for my Niners to steamroll the Cardinals. I think the Niners are also going to steamroll the Cardinals. Matt T.S. watching from West Tampa. Robert Gibbs in South Georgia. Dortmund, Germany is the farthest away that we have seen. Brazil from Diego. Seth Alexander in Louisiana and a Baker fan. Tom V. in Los Angeles. Stacy Payton in Detroit. You love to see it. Godwin's wife had to teach Canales how to do his job, says realtor David Zussman. Naheem says, I'm watching the game on my phone in Carolina through an illegal website. I won't tell anybody. Tiki Fire says, became a Bucs fan when I lived in Tampa in the 90s, lived elsewhere in Florida for a couple of decades, and now in Tennessee. Tennessee's gorgeous. I've thought about my lease. My apartment is up in August, and I've heavily thought about going to Tennessee. The cost of living certainly can't be beat. Calvin checking in from Mississippi. Steven says from North Carolina, go Fins. Nathaniel says, just getting in here. Me and the son been hanging out all morning. Glad to have you here. Thanks for watching. Also heard on Tom's stream, the cost for tickets to the Panthers game was only 50 cents. Yeah, 45 cents, I think, was the cheapest ticket you could get, which is just wild. Brutal as Bucs, born in St. Petersburg. There you go. Not too many St. Petersburg natives. Not a lot of Tampa natives floating around either. A lot of people moving down here to Tampa, St. Pete area, but most people you talk to, the average guy on the street, you know, has moved from another state. Not a lot of people who have lived in Tampa their whole lives anymore. It's just the state of the city. Arkansas checking in says Nathan. Mr. Dionks, I think that's how you say that. Atlanta, Georgia. Pleasure to have you guys watching with us all over the U.S. and all around the world this week. That is awesome. And as we get ready for the second half, the Buccaneers and Packers take the field in Lambeau. Sporting the new vintage Lynch jersey I picked up yesterday. Used to live in Dunedin. Good choice. The only creamsicle jersey I've got is a Warren Sapp, but if the Bucs are able to re-sign Mike Evans, then I think a creamsicle Mike Evans is going to be in my future. Willis Hagen's Racing says if Mike Evans gets 2 more 1,000-yard seasons in a row and goes over 120 touchdowns, he would be considered the second best wide receiver of all time in my debate. That's solid. I mean, if you get 2 more 1,000-yard seasons in a row, not only does I think he passed Jerry Rice for the most consecutive, but he would still be the first and only player in NFL history to start his career with 12 straight 1,000-yard seasons. So I am obviously rooting for Mike Evans, and I think by the time it's all said and done, he will be top 5 all time without a doubt. You know, we talk about the flashy players, but those flashy players, they're not always consistent. Mike Evans is always consistent. 1st and 10, Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers offense going to be coming out as they deferred to the second half after winning the coin toss to start this game. And out of the shotgun, play action, has time in the pocket. Here comes Kalijah Kancey, who almost makes the big-time play. Some delayed pressure, but they ultimately get to the quarterback and force an incompletion there. Yaya Diaby and Kalijah Kancey, the 2 main sources of pressure right there. I hate this little previous play thing here because it really messes me up. I want to call the play, and then I look at the screen. So on 2nd and 10 now, single back look with a man in motion. Aaron Jones, the running back. Bucs with a 4-man front, stack the box. Here is the snap, handoff to Aaron Jones, who is brought down. Looks like Yaya Diaby was the first one there to wrap him up. So before 3rd and 7, the Bucs are going to burn a timeout here. 14:36 left to go in the third quarter of this game. How about we do that right there? I know you guys aren't going to be too happy with me, but I really don't want those plays spoiling me because it just kind of throws me off. So hopefully you're okay with that. 3rd and 7. Fresh off of a timeout. Big time 3rd down for the Bucs. They could shut down the first offensive series of the second half for Green Bay. Jordan Love, 4 for 4 on third down, 2 first downs today. 4 for 4 passing on third down, 2 first downs today. 3 wide receivers and a shotgun look. Now with a man in motion, that's Jaden Reed. Love takes the snap, fires deep downfield, and he just overthrew everybody. He had 2 wide receivers in that area, and there's got to be a little bit of miscommunication there as to why that fell down to the turf. But regardless, the Bucs get the stop they need, and it's 4th and 7. Tiki Fire with a good question. Historically, Tampa hasn't had many consistently great offensive players. You know, Allstott, Dunn, who else? He's not always going to get the credit, but Ali Marpet, he was, you know, one of the better players at his position during his entire tenure in Tampa Bay, and I think he only played 7 seasons. So I know it kind of puts a damper on it, but he was consistently one of the best linemen on the team every single year. Here is Devin Tompkins, by the way, with a nice return on the punt, his first punt return of the day. He'll pick up about 16 yards. But when you think about historically great offensive players, you know, Ali Marpet, Mark Carrier is another name that's been brought up, Richard Fassett. Mark Carrier had a lot of Buccaneers receiving records before Mike Evans came around. Jimmy Giles, James Wilder, Paul Gruber. Paul Gruber, widely considered one of the greater offensive linemen in the Bucs history. Paul Gruber. Tony Mayberry was a quality starting center for many, many years. But I would argue not all of those guys were always talked about as the best in their position group. And I mean, let's be honest, at no point during his career have people called Mike Evans the best wide receiver in the NFL, but that's because of how underrated he's been. You know, he didn't get the media coverage he deserved until Tom Brady came to town. And even after Tom Brady came to town, the only reason I feel like he's getting media coverage this season is because of the drama between him and the franchise before the season had started. In my opinion, I think Mike Evans wouldn't be nearly getting the credit that he has gotten this year if he didn't make it seem like he wanted out of Tampa, because that's when these players start getting a lot more coverage. Eric Brett was decent for a few years. That is true. But again, the longevity. You know, I think the big thing with Mike Evans is he's been consistently solid. He's been the offense, but year after year after year after year, I mean, we're talking 10 straight seasons of 1,000+ yards, and he hasn't fallen off. He hasn't declined. You know, people have worried about his production as he's north of 30 years old now. And this year, he's proving that he's not ready to slow down yet, which is why I do think the Bucs pay him. You know, Mike Allstott was great. There's nobody like Mike Allstott. Nobody. I mean, you can look at even other fullbacks, and there's some bruisers, but I don't think there were ever any fullbacks quite as versatile as Mike Allstott. You know, he was a full-time running back for a season or two in this Buccaneers offense. I think that's where we disagree, Richard, about Mike Evans getting paid. I think the Bucs are going to pay him. I don't think they're going to pay him more north of $24-25 million, but I don't think any other team in the NFL is going to do that either. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll eat my words, but I think a couple of costly drops from Evans early in the season hurt his top wide receiver money. On 1st and 10, it's going to be an inside carry to Rachaad White, who fights ahead for about 3 yards. He'll be brought down. 2nd down. Yeah, thunder and lightning. There you go. Talking about Mike Allstott. And, God, I feel terrible for forgetting the other guy's name, but the ridiculously large fullback that they had used. Was it Green? Was it something Green? I don't know. A little bit before my time. 2nd and 6 now following the run. Baker Mayfield out of the shotgun. 3 wide receivers. Play action, rolls to the right, looking, pump fakes, looking for Chris Godwin, and he overthrows him just a hair. 3rd and 6. They tried the play action rollout. He had time to pump, but just wasn't on target trying to get that ball out of a tough position. Yeah, you got to hit Godwin there. Work done. Absolutely work done. But people remember work done more for what he did in Atlanta than Tampa, right? I mean, unfortunately, work done didn't win a championship in Tampa. It's incredibly disappointing. But it is what it is. He wasn't here that long. 3rd and 6 out of the shotgun. Baker, pressure, steps up in the pocket. Finds Mike Evans deep downfield. That ball is caught at the 35-yard line. 1st down, Tampa Bay. He didn't win one in Atlanta. You are correct. But if we're talking about the best offensive players in Tampa Bay Buccaneers history, I wouldn't even say Warrick Dunn is top 5. I wouldn't. He did come back. He was here for 7 years. You know what? Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Warrick Dunn was ever, I don't know. Let me stop talking before I get in trouble. 1st and 10, it's an inside handoff to Rachaad White. He is swallowed up behind the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nothing doing there. No blocks, and the Green Bay D-line is all over him. Second and 12 now after the loss. 19 passes today, 14 carries. Out of the shotgun now on 2nd and 12. Baker with 3 wide receivers. Play action, quick pass, looking for Trey Palmer, and they cannot connect. Rudy Ford in coverage there, able to break that one up. Tiki Fire, there wasn't much passing game back then. That is true. Third and 12. Empty backfield look. 4 wide receivers and a tight end in motion. That's Cade Otton. Play clock ticking. Baker takes the snap. Quick screen pass to Chris Godwin, who's got a block. Gets around defenders, and he's got 15 yards and a Buccaneers 1st down. On 3rd and 12, Chris Godwin's monster day continues as he gains 15 yards and moves the chains for Tampa Bay. 1st down, Tampa Bay. $123 yards receiving today so far for Chris Godwin, a season high. Look for that to continue. 1st and 10 out of the shotgun. Baker, quick screen pass again, this time to Trey Palmer, who's got a little bit of room, but not quite as much. He'll fall ahead for about 4 yards. Second and 4. Following the 6-yard pickup there on the screen pass. Baker out of the shotgun here. Bunch set with the wide receivers. Devin Tompkins, the man in motion now. He runs back to quick. Oh, big time shot to Rachaad White in the slot. Touchdown. Sorry, I was trying to figure out the play design there, but before I could even do that, they find Rachaad White wide open in the seam there, and he takes it into the end zone for 6. His 3rd receiving touchdown this season. My mistake. Sorry for the delay, folks. I was playing some catch-up in my head there. Yeah, there's a lot of motion happening pre-snap. Devin Tompkins kind of runs back around and then cuts back out, which I think confused one of the linebackers who had Rachaad White in coverage. Then you got an extra man in the in the kitchen with Devin Tompkins back there. So I think they just got confused on what guy to cover. And, as deadly as it gets there in open space for Rachaad White, how about that? 2 weeks, 2 receiving touchdowns, and a big day continues for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 20-10 after the PAT from Chase McLaughlin. Fire the cannons. Here we go. I got something for you. Let me try something out here. Can we go on YouTube? Oh, no, we can't. You know why? Because YouTube thinks I have an ad blocker, which I don't. And they won't let me watch videos on YouTube. That's very odd. But we're going to find a way to fire these cannons here, folks. I'm going to turn this Bluetooth on. I'm going to connect my phone. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. Come on here. In the middle of a commercial break, by the way. Just trying to find a way to fire these cannons. Come on now. Come on now. All right, this is...
What makes a carnival vacation fun? Well, if you ask me.
Oh, speaking of work done, on that touchdown reception, the 26-yard catch and run from Rachaad White. White joined Wark Dunn as the only players in team history with 1,000-plus rushing yards and 750-plus receiving yards over the player's first 2 career seasons. So how about that? All right. So we are going to fire these cannons. And we are going to do it right now. Here we go. Can we fire the cannons?
Coming up, it's a ship battle video, and we're going to fire the cans one more time in there.
What is this? What is this? See, sometimes my board works well, sometimes it doesn't. What's the point of Bluetooth and connecting to it if I can't use it?
And we got a video that's coming up. It's a ship battle video, and we're going to fire the cans one more time in there.
All right, buddy.
I don't know if you guys heard that. I don't know if you did or not. I don't know if you did or not, but hopefully we just fired some cannons. I don't know what noise we made, but I think it was cannons. Yeah, Baker Mayfield making up for that early fumble. On the day, Baker is 16 for 20, 251 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So we talked about how he could potentially bounce back after that costly fumble early in the game, which led to Green Bay points. And here we are in the third quarter, the Buccaneers with a 10-point lead after a big-time catch and run from Baker Mayfield to Rachaad White. Baker's been great. I know we've been upset about the pocket presence, and I still think that's an issue. He hasn't been perfect, but he's been great, and he's played about as well as you could have asked him to since that fatal mistake early in the game. The Bucs did not let this game get away from them, and that's a great sign. Awesome. I'm glad you heard it. Glad you heard it, because if I had to do that again. On 1st and 10 now, the Green Bay Packers will take over. Following the Tampa Bay Buccaneers score, they've got the football at the 25-yard line. Shotgun look for Jordan Love. 3 wide receivers in the game. Aaron Jones in at running back. Now Reed, the man in motion. Takes the snap. It's an inside carry to Aaron Jones, who is dropped immediately by Levante David. Good decision-making from Levante David there. That's a veteran presence that, you are going to need on a Buccaneers defense filled up with young talent the way that it has been today. Single back look now, 3 wide receivers in the game and a man in motion. Play action, Love back to pass. He checks it down to Aaron Jones, who tries to get away from KJ Britt, but he does not. So that pass is caught, but luckily Britt able to make the shoelace tackle there and force a 3rd and 5. Third and 4, excuse me. Out of the shotgun now with 4 wide receivers in the game. Aaron Jones still the running back. Jordan Love. Bucs showing pressure. The play clock under 10 seconds now. Love takes the snap. Pressure coming. Quick pass, and it is caught. First down for Wicks and then some. It was a quick check down for a first down, which turned into an extra gain of about 10 yards as Wicks was just breaking tackles. Nobody seemingly wanted to tackle him there. Yeah, it's a tight window throw. Antoine Winfield can't make the tackle, and then it takes KJ Britt, Jamel Dean, and a couple of other players to come in and finally bring him down. Yeah, just tackle the guy. That's what I'm saying, too. Single back look now. 2 wide receivers and a tight end in the game. Jordan Love under center on 1st and 10. From the 47. Drops back to pass. Pressure coming, and he finds a receiver. That pass is caught. Fumble. Are they going to rule it incomplete, or are they going to say it's a fumble? That pass was caught over the middle, and Antoine Winfield Jr. made the tackle. The ball came out. Nobody saw it for several seconds. This should be a catch and a fumble. This is Wicks again. Yeah, that ball is out. That's a fumble all day. Oh, man. So Green Bay with the recovery there. No challenge flag from Todd Bowles. Wicks going to be sidelined after tweaking his ankle, but a costly turnover prevented there as Green Bay able to recover. 2nd and 8 out of the shotgun. Love drops back to pass. Pressure coming. Steps up in the pocket, trying to get away. Wobbly throw downfield, looking for Tucker Kraft, and he cannot hit him. I'm sorry, that's Sims, the other tight end. Yaya Diaby did just enough to affect that pass. Not sure if it was just off target from Jordan Love, which we have seen today, or if it was Diaby affecting the pass. But regardless, the feet of Jordan Love were not set, and that's been an issue with him all year. 3rd and 8 now for Tampa Bay. 7:57 left to go in the third quarter. 3 wide receiver bunch. Now with a man in motion out of the shotgun, Jordan Love takes the snap. Pressure coming, fires in the pocket. Wide open is Wicks coming back into the game, and he makes the catch for the first down and then some over the middle of the field. Nobody there. 21 yards for Dontavion Wicks. Man. I think that's just zone coverage being picked apart right there. You give them a little bit of time, and eventually someone's going to get open. So between Antoine Winfield and Levante David, Wicks able to make the catch, his 3rd of the day for 45 yards. Now on 1st and 10, out of the shotgun, 2 wide receivers to the top. Here is the snap. Love has time in the pocket. Pressure coming. He rolls to his right. Flag in the backfield. That pass is caught to Bo Melton, but there is a flag behind the pocket, so we'll see what the call is. Offensive holding. You know, they should have called that in the first quarter. There's been a couple of replays that I saw. I know I sound like every football fan on the planet when I say they should have called that earlier, but they have certainly turned a blind eye to some of these holds, and that one they just don't get away with. So big-time penalty against Green Bay. Green Bay on 1st and 20 going to take back over. Jordan Love out of the shotgun, now with a man in motion. From the 35-yard line. Empty backfield for Love, who takes the snap. Pressure coming. Has time. Rolls to his right. Getting away from tacklers. Fires downfield, and that is caught. Malik Heath able to make the diving catch and bring up 2nd and short. They're going to try and get a playoff quickly. That pass looked like it was a little underthrown. Could have hit the turf, but regardless, they're going to hurry up to the line of scrimmage and try and get a playoff here. Bucs not going to challenge it. 2nd and 5. They get a play off. Here is a quick pass out to the left. Wide ass open is Bo Melton. So I would love to see a replay. I would love to see the replay there because Green Bay might have known that they were going to get caught with how quickly they hurried up and ran that play. Not a catch. Nope, not a catch. I don't know. They're showing that replay. Charles Davis is saying it would have been a catch. I don't think so. But regardless, here we are. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line now. 2 running back set in a shotgun look. Takes the snap. Love. Pressure coming. Tries to get it off to Kenyon Drake in the backfield, and he does. But Levante David all over that one to bring him down for a loss. The Bucs were all over that one. It looked like it was a couple of option routes there. You had Melton on the left and Taylor on the right for Jordan Love. But the Bucs pressure was all over it. Just kind of ruined that play. 5 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. 2nd and 13. Out of the shotgun. 2 wide receivers to his left. Love takes the snap. Has time. Checks it down to the right side to his running back, and Anthony Nelson able to meet him behind the line of scrimmage and push him out of bounds. So 2 straight plays of negative yards for Green Bay sets up a third down, excuse me. Third and 14 now for the Packers. 4.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter of this game. Out of the shotgun is Jordan Love. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers in the game. Play clock ticking. Down to 3 seconds now. Looking for a man in motion. They get the snap off. Has time in the pocket. Rolling away. Trying to get away from Bucs defenders, and he does. Fires for the end zone, and that is caught. Touchdown, Jaden Reed. Zion McCollum in coverage. And that's as tight of a window as it gets. A big-time catch. We'll get the review here as they do every score in the NFL. But if it stands, this will be Jaden Reed's 6th touchdown this season. Here is a look. There's the catch, and he gets both of the toes down. So that is as close as it gets. But Anders Carlson will make the extra point. And following that, the score in Green Bay. The Bucs hang on to their lead, but we'll see how much longer the offense is going to have to answer here. 20-17, your score following the Green Bay touchdown. 11 plays, 75 yards for Green Bay to come back and answer. Man, oh man. Well, don't say they weren't going to make it interesting. Just a 3-point game here at the tail end of the third quarter. Still plenty of football left, but curious to see what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense can do when they get back out on the field. Third and 14, though, man. You got to get off of the field. Got to get off of the field there. There is no excuse. There really isn't. That's not true, Devontae. It seems like you haven't watched the whole stream and you haven't listened to what I said about Baker today, but I would argue he's played great. I actually said that. I said he has played great. Defense lets up massive plays on every third down that drive, and the last was a freaking touchdown. Yeah, 3rd and 14, that was brutal. Been a couple of costly penalties, and the Bucs were almost bailed out with penalties on that drive. You get a holding call against Green Bay, puts them back deep, and they're still able to convert with a no-name receiver. With all due respect to Wicks, but he's not a guy who lights it up every single week for Green Bay. And the Bucs have this special ability to make any wide receiver 3 in the NFL look like the best guy on the team. Have you, Devontae? I mean, listen, bro. If you can timestamp, me going in on Baker and saying that he was horrible today, I would love to see it. But all day today, I have said he's been great. It wasn't great when he fumbled inside the 5-yard line, which led to a Packers touchdown. And I had said that he's going to have to play well down the stretch, to really bounce back from that. And he has. He's played great. We'll see how he plays on this drive, though, because obviously the Bucs going to have to take control of this game once again. The defense isn't going to stop them on every single drive, and I don't know if 20 points is going to be enough to win the game at this point, so we'll see what happens. Devin Tompkins with the return at the goal line will call for a fair catch, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get another chance on offense at their own 25-yard line. First and 10 now, 4:18 left to go in the third quarter as the Buccaneers offense gets their hands back on the football. Trying to extend their lead as they hang on to this game. Payne Durham, the tight end in motion, 2 wide receiver set, out of the shotgun for Baker. Quick pass. He finds Cade Otton in the slot. Big time first down as he bulldozes his way towards midfield, finally brought down around the 46, 47 yard line. First and 10. Great start for the Buccaneers offense, who have played well today. I'd argue their best game in weeks. Baker out of the shotgun. 3 wide receivers to his left. Takes the snap. Play action to Chase Edmonds. Steps up in the pocket, and he's going to go down. Just the pressure too much there for this Buccaneers offensive line. It's Kenny Clark. I believe that's 5 sacks now on the day. Yeah, 4 or 5 sacks on the day, which is not a great day for this Buccaneers offensive line. 2nd and 18 after the sack. Empty backfield, 5 wide receiver look for Baker. Takes the snap, steps up in the pocket, fires downfield, finds Chris Godwin, who gets the first down yardage and then some. Man, Mr. First Down Conversion is what I'm going to call him. Chris Godwin comes up big again and gets 20 yards from Baker Mayfield there. Ran Chris Godwin out of the slot. He cuts to the left, and they find him open in the seam. He gets a little bit of yards after catch there, and it's enough to move the chains. Pistol look now. Chase Edmonds, the running back, 3 wide receivers. Here is a handoff to Edmonds. And he's going to go nowhere. Gets maybe a yard. We do have some pushing and shoving after the whistle. But it looks like they're going to let it go. That was Luke Gedeke and a Packers lineman. $144 yards on the day. 9 catches for Chris Godwin. Just another tremendous performance. One of the best days of his career. 184 is the career high for Godwin. So 40 yards away. Out of the shotgun, 3 wide receiver set. Baker, quick pass to the right, looking for Mike Evans. And it's Valentine in coverage. So he'll bring up 3rd and 8. Looking for Mike Evans on the quick slant pass there, and he's just all over that. Third and 8 now for Tampa Bay. On the 39-yard line of Green Bay, just outside field goal range, out of the shotgun, Baker has time, steps up in the pocket, goes sideline, and I don't know what happened there. Looks like we're going to get a flag. It's going to be DPI on Mike Evans. Mike Evans was the intended receiver, but by the time Baker threw that ball, Mike was nowhere to be found, so he got caught up on something, and that something may have been Valentine there in the secondary. So it's a first down for Tampa Bay, getting bailed out by a pass interference, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Corey Ballantyne, number 35, the corner, who just made that big-time play on Mike Evans previously, gets caught up there for a DPI and gives up some crucial yardage. The Buccaneers driving still, 1st and 10, fresh set of downs. On the 27-yard line of Green Bay, Baker out of the shotgun, 2 wide receivers. 3 wide receivers, Godwin in the slot. Devin Tompkins, the man in motion. It's an inside carry to Rachaad White, who picks up about 2 yards. I want to see a stat on the receiver. Who has drawn the most DPIs in NFL history? I swear number 13 gets so many. Mike Evans wasn't getting that many until Tom Brady came to town. And then even in the first season afterwards, it seems like he has continued his tradition of looking for a flag after some contact. But, I mean, he's a big guy. You know, that's how you have to defend him, and sometimes it's a DPI. Empty backfield now after Rachaad White sent out wide. Baker Mayfield with 3 wide receivers. Play clock ticking. Have to get the play off here. They take the snap. Baker has time. Fires over the middle. It's caught! Big time catch from the tight end. Cade Otton inside the 5-yard line. 1st and goal, Tampa Bay. Seventh play today of at least 20 yards for the Bucs. They'll hurry up to the line. 1st and goal now. Shotgun look. 2 wide receivers at the top of the screen. Baker has time. Looking. Corner. End zone. Oh, looking for that Mike Evans fade. And it's just not enough there. Good coverage. Good coverage by Green Bay. Trying to catch him sleeping there as they hurry up to the line. But they were ready for it. So it'll be 2nd and goal. First and goal, power run look for the Bucs. Offset eye now with O'Keefe at fullback. It's a play action look. Baker looking end zone. Caught! O'Keefe! Goal line. Was he short? No, touchdown Tampa Bay! O'Keefe, big man, touchdown. How about that? We have not seen O'Keefe get a target since, I think, the first month of the regular season. And there he is to put the Bucs up. 26-17. That's close, but it is a touchdown, and I think it will remain a touchdown. How about that? Big-time touchdown for O'Keefe and another passing touchdown for Baker Mayfield as his big day continues. It has been one hell of a performance from this Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense today. Kick is up from McLaughlin, and it is good. So with 20 seconds left in the third quarter, the Bucs extend their lead to 10, 27-17 on the O'Keefe touchdown. How about that, man? Love to see it. All right, so you know what we're going to do? Hopefully this works. That's not what you want to hear. Hold on one second. We're going to fire the cannons. I just have to sit through the YouTube ad. All right, let's fire the cannons.
All right, buddy.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield to O'Keefe. Bucs are on top, 27-17 in the third quarter. The most points allowed by Green Bay since the Lions scored 34 in Week 4. Hopefully you guys heard the cannons, I believe. Yes, you did. You are correct, James. I should do a screen recording. That's a good idea. You know, honestly, what I need to do is, like, I've got a really expensive audio board that I spent a lot of money on a couple of years ago, and it's got a built-in soundboard, and I should probably start using it. Hold on, let me see. Let me see. So, just checking in. Let's go through my soundboard, huh? I agree. Very funny. Thank you. I'm going to save that one. I got to use that. I don't know what that was. I like the womp womp. I hope I can use that I hope I can use that before the stream is over today. Bust out the womp womp on somebody. So it's a touchback for Green Bay. Jordan Love and the offense will get another chance with it following the Buccaneers touchdown. 27-17, your scores. We are just a couple of ticks of the clock away from the fourth quarter here in Lambeau. The Bucs with a good hold on this football game. We just got to see them finish. First and foremost, you need another stop from the defense here. We're not able to get one on the last drive. Green Bay goes down the field and scores. You need to show up here. Running out of time to keep themselves in this game. Bucs with a 5-man front, bluffing the blitz here. Jordan Love out of the shotgun. It's going to be play action. Has time. Pressure coming. He dumps it off to the left. That's caught by Jaden Reed. Yaya Diaby misses the tackle, but Jamel Dean is able to clean it up. It's going to be a pickup of about 4 yards on the check down there. So that's the end of the third quarter as we will start the fourth. The Bucs on top, 27-17, and CBS will take a quick commercial break. Been a lot of fun today on the stream, guys. How are we feeling to start the fourth quarter? The Bucs up 27-17. We know we need a big-time stop from the defense, but the offense has proven today that they can score points. So we'll see if they can get up over 30 points for, I think, only the second time this season. I don't think they've scored over 30 aside from that Houston game. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, of course they got to get these commercial breaks in, really ruining the flow of the game. Got to say thanks for doing this, man. I was listening to Deckerhoff and there is a delay. Reckon, I'm glad I could help you out, man. Yeah, the Price of Right loser horn would be good on the soundboard there. Also, just a friendly reminder for anyone not up to speed, after the game, immediately following the end of this one, we are going to be live, youtube.com/Cannon Fire Podcast. Once again, youtube.com/Cannon Fire Podcast. It'll be myself joined by my co-host, Evan Wanish. And we are going to be taking your calls and breaking down everything that we have watched unfold from Lambeau Field today. Should be a good one. So subscribe. And hopefully we'll see you there. Got to bring Bake back. He deserved it, playing better than Brady last year. I mean, stats don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Numbers do not lie. And I do think statistically, Baker has been just as good, if not better, than Brady, at least so far at this point in the season. Got to make the postseason, though. I still am a strong believer that if Todd Bowles is gone, I think regardless of their thoughts on Baker, he could be gone as well. But we'll see. Still have a couple of weeks left, and I'm rooting for Baker. 2nd and 6. It's going to be a quick pass on play action out of the shotgun for Jordan Love. And that's Wicks, man, who just seemingly cannot be tackled. I don't know why the Bucs cannot tackle this guy, but he has got another big first down gain and then some because nobody could wrap him up or push him out of bounds. Tiki Barber, Matt Ryan, and Andrew Catalan up there in the booth. Out of the shotgun now is Jordan Love. Aaron Jones, the running back in the game. Now with a tight end in motion. Takes the snap. Has time in the pocket. Steps up. Fires over the middle. And it's caught. Guess who? Wicks for another first down. Jordan Love getting more comfortable in the pocket. Not a lot of pressure on this drive from Tampa Bay, and you see it again there. If you give him time, he's going to find somebody, and that somebody lately has been Devontae Wicks. 5 receptions and 84 yards for Wicks, which have all come in the second half. Out of the shotgun, 3 wide receiver set and a man in motion. Takes the snap. Pressure coming off of the blitz. It's a check down over to the left. Jaden Reed has it caught behind the line of scrimmage, and he scrambles, but Kalijah Cansey able to bring him down. Only a gain of 2 there. The average age of the Green Bay Packers this year, by the way, is 23 years old. Far and away the youngest team in the NFL. And I can remember not too long ago, the Bucs were in this exact situation, being the youngest team in the NFL. So you got a lot of promising talent, especially in that wide receiver room for Green Bay. But the Bucs going to need to stop them here. 2nd and 6 now. Out of the shotgun. Bunch wide receiver formation. It's a quick pitch over to the right side to Aaron Jones, who breaks a tackle, but he's not going to get past Christian Izien, who makes the tackle. We'll see if they give him a generous spot or not, but I think it's going to be 3rd and a foot. He wants a first down, and I don't think they're going to give it to him. I don't think they should. I think he was short, but it's 3rd and inches. The crowd voicing their displeasure with this officiating crew today. Out of the shotgun on 3rd and 1, 3 wide receivers to the top of the screen, and we get a flag. Oh, so LaFleur going to throw the challenge flag before they get the play off there. They're going to challenge the spot of that first down. I thought there was a pre-snap penalty the way the broadcast made it look and the way that play fell apart, but it looks like we're just going to get a challenge from Matt LaFleur. And honestly, you know, they'll probably get it. So CBS will take a quick commercial break as we await the results of that challenge on the field from Packers head coach Matt LaFleur, his first challenge today. The Bucs could have challenged the possession catch earlier in the game on a Packers scoring drive, but did not. So this being the second window to throw the challenge flag, looks like they're going to do so. Let me check in on my prize picks real quick while we are in the middle of a commercial break. A lot of these games closing in. Chicago, Cleveland. I need 6.5 more yards from Jerome Ford, who has 11 on the day. His line was 17.5. Romeo Dubes, I do not think is going to hit 18 yards so far in today's game. I needed 45.5. Puka's game hasn't started yet. Jordan Love at 239 passing yards. I had him going for more than 248.5 today. I feel like that'll hit. Rachaad White, more than 96.5 rush plus receiving yards. He is at 89 today between his carries and then, of course, the big-time 26-yard touchdown catch from Baker Mayfield earlier. DJ Moore, I need 60.5 receiving yards. He is at 55. So I need 5.5 more yards from him to win. So we'll see. Bryce Young has really started to come around, but I don't know if there's enough time there in the fourth quarter of that game with Atlanta. He's got 111 yards. I still need 60, 70. I need 74 more yards from Bryce Young, and that seems like a lot to ask for, especially today. And then Desmond Ridder, 26 pass attempts. He's only at 15, so I assume he either got benched or he's just not going to get that. Been a rough day on prize picks. I tell you guys, this is probably my, I think I said this already today. It's probably my last day on prize picks. It's criminal, man, the way that they bump those lines. They don't even put certain options on the board. They don't even put certain options on the board until after they have a chance to adjust the opening line. Like if they see a play that's really easy money, then they just wait until Vegas bumps the lines because that's what happens, and then they'll put it on the board. That way, if you go with the over, you'll get nickel and dimed. So the Packers lost the challenge. Very surprising there on 3rd and 1. Looks like they'll sell out for the QB sneak, and I think they're going to get it. So they will go ahead and get it there on the QB sneak. They hurry up to the line and get that play off very quickly. But regardless, they get the necessary yardage after losing the challenge there. 1st and 10, fresh set of downs for Green Bay. Jordan Love, 10 for 10 and a touchdown over his last pass attempts. His last 10 passing attempts, excuse me. Out of the shotgun now. 3 wide receivers and a tight end in the slot, now with a man in motion as well. Jordan Love takes the snap. Handoff to Aaron Jones running right, and he is brought down by Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. And with losing that challenge, good point brought up by Martin in the chat. Green Bay going to lose a timeout there, so they have 2 timeouts here in the second half. The Bucs have 2 timeouts left here in the second half. 11 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter. Packers facing 2nd and 7. Aaron Jones still in the game at running back. Shotgun look. Three tight end look for Jordan Love. One of them a man in motion. Takes the snap. Misdirection look. Has time. Fires it to Aaron Jones. It's a late throw, and Jones has to adjust to the catch, which gives the Bucs defense just enough time to catch up and bring him down. He'll only pick up about 2 yards, but honestly, a good play design. Just a bad catch, and it kind of stalls Aaron Jones out at the wrong time there. Christian Izien and Levante David able to bring him down. Third and 4. Another short 3rd down for the Packers on this drive. Empty backfield look. 5 receivers in the game for Jordan Love. 4 for 5 on 3rd downs today as Green Bay takes the snap, drops back, looking to pass, has time, pressure coming, and he gets rid of it, but that pass is underthrown to Tucker Kraft, Levante David in coverage, and it falls incomplete. The Bucs come up with another big-time 3rd down stop, and that's going to bring out the field goal unit to try and make this a 1-possession game in the 4th quarter. Good coverage by Levante David. He's got to be a tight end's worst nightmare, especially when they're as inexperienced as a guy like Tucker Kraft is. But Carlson's kick is up and good from 33 yards, which means this game is now within 7 points. The Bucs offense with a chance to deliver another blow here late in the 4th quarter to Green Bay and their chances of winning this one. 27-20 now your score following the Green Bay field goal. So let's take a quick break, and I will be right back. I truthfully have to pee, so I'm going to use the bathroom real quick, and I will be back here in a minute. Don't go anywhere. All right, we're back. Appreciate your patience. 27-20, your score from Lambeau Field as the Buccaneers trying to hang on to their lead here in the 4th quarter. The offense with another chance at the football when we come back from the commercial break. Just an update around the division. By the way, 24-6 Saints over the Giants, so that game seemingly over. I'm not sure who had the lead in Atlanta, Carolina last I looked. Falcons at Panthers. That game, wow, quite the offensive blowout. Atlanta leading 7-6 in the fourth quarter, 10.5 minutes left to go in that one. The Panthers also wearing one of my favorite uniform combos they have. Behind the blue jersey and the black pants, they have the black alternate helmet with the black jersey and the black pants. I think that's a clean blackout look as far as the NFL standards go. But it seems like a very exciting game in Carolina today. So there is your division comparison for the Bucs. Still looking to hang on to that NFC South lead after their win today. And that kick up and away, it'll be a touchback. Devin Tompkins back deep to receive. Didn't have time to fair catch this one, so it'll be a touchback either way. Will the Brewer, unable to watch or listen live, checking in for updates. Thanks, LFG. Thanks for checking in, Will. Bucs up 27-20. 10 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. So here comes Baker Mayfield, who has been great today, aside from the fumble. Out of the shotgun, 3 wide receivers in the game. Play action, looking for a quick pass. Pump fakes, getting away from pressure. Rolling to the right. He's just going to tuck it and try and go. Breaks the tackle and does cross the line of scrimmage, but he'll be forced out of bounds. That might be the most electric play of 0 yards I've ever seen. Second down. Out of the shotgun once again goes Baker Mayfield on 2nd and 10. Rachaad White the back in the game. 3 wide receivers, Godwin out of the slot. It's going to be a handoff to Rachaad White, who's fighting ahead. And I'll be honest with you, I think this is what we've been waiting for as far as the run game today and the usage of Rachaad White. These last couple of weeks, the Bucs have saved him till the very end to allow him to wear these teams down. And he starts with a 6-yard carry. I think that's what we're going to see. 3rd and 4, you got to convert, stay on the field, but I would not be surprised if they go to Rachaad White here yet again. 9 minutes left to go. Bucs trying to chew the clock and secure this lead. 3rd and 4, 3 wide receivers and a tight end in motion. That's Cade Otton. Out of the shotgun, Baker takes the snap, drops back, pressure coming, steps up in the pocket, fires over the middle. It is caught. Guess who? Mr. 3rd down conversion, Chris Godwin, with another 1st and 10 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That keeps this drive alive. Great play. Great play. Been a huge day for Chris Godwin. Much needed. His biggest game of the season. The clock will continue to roll here. Just over 8 minutes left in this football game. 1st and 10 for the Bucs. Out of the shotgun is Baker Mayfield. It's an inside handoff to Rachaad White. Breaks a tackle in the backfield, and he will be brought down, but not before picking up about 5 yards there. 2nd down. So Rachaad White lost some weight. He started the year at 225, but now he's shed some weight. He said he didn't like playing as heavy as 225, so maybe that has to do with some of the recent success. Out of the shotgun now, 3 wide receiver set to the right. Baker Mayfield takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Rachaad White yet again, trying to get some extra blockers, Baker Mayfield being one of them, but that run goes nowhere. It's a pickup of maybe a yard. Third down with 7 minutes left to go in this game. The Bucs need another big-time conversion here to control the football, control the clock, and ultimately try and put this game away. Because if you don't come away with any points, it's a one-possession game, and you don't want to give Green Bay any chance at all. Out of the shotgun, Mike Evans, the man in motion, 4 wide receiver set, takes the snap, quick pass, Baker to the right, caught, number 19, oh my God, look at all that room, to the 10-5, touchdown, Tampa Bay, David Moore. On 3rd and 4, David Moore gets the blocks and calls game. Man, oh man, 52-yard touchdown reception from David Moore to make it a 2-possession game in the final 7 minutes. I didn't know who that was at first. I wanted to say it was Raheem Jarrett, but I knew he wasn't number 19. And then I remembered David Moore. I didn't remember his name till the 5-yard line. Huge play from David Moore. Look at that. Yards after catch. If there's one thing we love to see from a Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver that you don't always see, it's the yards after catch. But that was a huge play. The biggest play of the year for David Moore, for sure. And potentially a touchdown. So, oh no, this touchdown is under review because David Moore let go of the football and they're worried he did it at the 1-yard line. That's very close. The ball comes out. The ball is smacked out of his hand. And it was right at the line. So we'll see. But it's a short stick route, and David Moore does the rest. That's fantastic. So we're going to wait. We are going to wait to fire the cannons until this is confirmed a touchdown. But we will get them ready to go. How about that? We'll get them ready to go. Oh, goodness gracious. What a play. Buccaneers up over 30 points on offense. Hopefully a win here in Lambeau if they can put the Packers away. It would be their most impressive offensive performance of the season. Absolutely it would. So the Moore touchdown now under review as a Packers defender swatted the ball at the goal line. And he swatted the ball out of his hands as he crossed the line. Like I said, I mean, it does not get much closer than it did as far as this review. So we'll see what they decide. Still in the middle of a commercial break, by the way. Apologies for the dead air. But we await the ruling. David Moore, 52-yard touchdown. Baker Mayfield's 381 passing yards are now the second most of his career. 397 in 2018 at Houston. So it is good. The touchdown will stand, which means we can officially fire the cannons, right? Is that what that means? Oh, I'm not even hooked up to Bluetooth. I'm playing it through the speaker. I'm such an idiot. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a long afternoon. Believe it or not, when you do this much talking over the course of several hours, it gets harder to talk towards the end of it. Chase McLaughlin with the PAT. It is good, so the Bucs will make this a 2-touchdown lead late in the fourth quarter in Green Bay over the Packers, 34-20, following the 52-yard David Moore touchdown. So they'll take another quick commercial break, which gives us just enough time to do this. Oh, well, nope. That's what I get for thinking it would work. But it did not. Let's try it again. Take two.
In there.
All right. Cannons have fired. 52-yard touchdown from David Moore makes it a 2-possession game. Buccaneers on top in this one. 6.5 minutes left to go. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Baker Mayfield, 4 passing touchdowns today. No, Green Bay did not lose a timeout. It was under review from the booth. Every NFL touchdown is reviewed, so it was technically like a booth review. So no timeout lost. Yeah, good point bringing up Tom Grossi. You know, I love Tom. Nothing but great things to say about him, but I do wonder how he's feeling. This Packers team has completely self-destructed here in the second half of this football game. But hey, man, I've been there before. You know, I've seen it this season. Don't worry. 1st and 10 now. Jordan Love and the Packers offense back out on the field. 4 wide receiver set out of the shotgun. Takes the snap. Has time in the pocket. Fires to the left side. It is caught. 1st down to Romeo Doubs. Jaden Reed in the medical tent for Green Bay with a toe injury. His status is questionable. Out of the shotgun, another quick pass. Jordan Love over the middle. Finds Malik Heath, who picks up 9 yards. They're going to hurry up to the line here. It's all you can do. You're playing from behind 2 possessions, so they're going to have to get aggressive here. 2nd and 1. Out of the shotgun, 3 wide receiver set. Love takes the snap. It's going to be an inside handoff. And Taylor will pick up the 1st down. Then a little bit of extra yardage, but only about 5 yards overall. 5.5 minutes left to go in this game. The Packers right around midfield. From the 48-yard line, Love takes the snap. Quick pass to the right. He finds his man. That is Kraft, the tight end, who picks up about 9 yards. Clock will continue to roll. They hurry up to the line here on 2nd and 1. 5 minutes left to go in this ball game. Jordan Love, 3 wide receivers out of the shotgun. Takes the snap. Quick pass. It is caught. That is Wicks for another 1st down. Number 13 has had an incredible day today catching the football, and he shows up and makes another big play there on the 1st down conversion. 4:45 left to go in this game. Quick pass out of the shotgun for Love again. Drops back. Running away from tacklers, closing in. He just lets it go downfield. That falls incomplete. Ran out of time. Tried to outrun the pressure, but just couldn't do it. So it'll stop the clock as that pass falls incomplete. 4:37 left to go from right around midfield. The Packers facing 2nd and 10. Moving left to right on your screen. Empty backfield now. 5 wide receivers out there for Jordan Love. 4 wide receivers, excuse me. Love takes the snap. Pressure coming. Steps up in the pocket. Fires to the right, and it is incomplete. Just off target. And some tight coverage by KJ Britt. So 3rd down, the Buccaneers with a chance to potentially put this game away. Well, 4 down territory when you're trailing by 14 points in the final 5 minutes. So 2 more downs to go here for the Bucs. 3rd and 10. Empty backfield once again for Jordan Love. Takes the snap. 3 wide receiver set. Has plenty of time. Fires it deep. Almost intercepted by Jamel Dean. Looking for Bo Melton over the top, but no dice. And it'll be 4th and 10. The offense remains on the field. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate it. Man, Jamel Dean, that ball hit him right in the hands, but that's, why he plays defense. Fourth and 10. This is it for Green Bay. 3 wide receivers out of the shotgun is Love. The Bucs showing a lot of cushion here. Takes the snap. Pressure coming. Here comes the blitz. Levante David and Shaq Barrett. The ball comes out. The Bucs recover. Logan Hall falls on the loose football. Levante David and Shaq Barrett on the blitz. Bring the pressure, force the fumble, and Logan Hall falls on top of the football. One last miscue from Jordan Love on the day for the Green Bay Packers, and it looks like the Bucs will leave Green Bay victorious. Love to see it, man. Man, what a play. What a play. Big time turnover for the Bucs to really create the distance necessary in this one. I know they're already ahead 14 points, but you know, that was the final gut punch for the Packers today. And if you're the Bucs, you love to see it. Under center, single back look. Here is Rachaad White taking a carry to the left side. Shakes a couple of tacklers, but doesn't get much more than 5 yards. He'll be brought down, second down. 4 minutes left in this game, but it feels like it's far from over. The Bucs still have their work cut out for them. Got to play clean football and got to control the clock here. And this is the moment we've been waiting for. I know I said it on the previous offensive possession, but Rachaad White, now when you're up by 14, you got no excuse. Just hand the ball to him and let him go to work. 2nd and 5. 4:13 left to go. Green Bay burned their second timeout. Single back look once again. Rachaad White, the back. Mayfield under center. Takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Rachaad White. Running White gets around one defender, but a second wave able to bring him down. He'll pick up maybe a yard. 3rd and short. So Green Bay will call their final timeout. And with 4 minutes and 8 seconds left to go, the Buccaneers facing a 3rd and 3. For Tampa Bay left on the schedule, next week you've got Jacksonville at home, New Orleans at home the week after that, and then you finish the regular season on the road against Carolina. For Atlanta, they've got Indy, Chicago, and New Orleans, and then for New Orleans, they've got the Rams next week in LA, the Bucs the week after that in Tampa, and then Atlanta to close out the regular season. So it's going to be a tight race to the finish here in the NFC South, but a win today is huge for the Buccaneers. Most important 3rd down conversion of the day for the Buccaneers, I would argue. 3rd and 3 with 4:08 left to go. The offense makes their way back out onto the field. Play clock at 15. Baker out of the shotgun. Looks like an empty backfield. Nope, just kidding. Out of the shotgun, Rachaad White in the game. 3 wide receivers. Inside handoff to Rachaad White, who cannot get the necessary yardage. He falls ahead about a yard, but he cannot move the chains. I'm going to be honest with you. I know a lot of people probably assume that Rachaad White was going to be getting the football, but even if that's the case, I don't know if giving it to him out of the shotgun was the best move there. But the clock will continue to roll. No timeouts left on the board for Green Bay. Todd Bowles going to take this one all the way down here before calling a timeout, seemingly. The official waiting for his signal. 3:28 left to go. 5 seconds left on the play clock. 3, 2. There is the timeout. So the Bucs will stop the clock at 3:25. And they're going to pull the offense off of the field here. I guess I can understand trusting your defense, but I would have rather just gone for it on 4th and like ended the game right there. But I guess I'm not a head coach, so. Okay, so the offense for Tampa Bay still on the field. I thought they were going to pull them off, but very interesting there. 4th and 2 now. 4-down territory for the Bucs. And like I said, this is where you go for it and you potentially put them away. Big time 4th down conversion. Out of the shotgun, Baker Mayfield. Inside handoff to White. Fights ahead. Gets the yardage. 1st down at Tampa Bay. 3 wide receivers on the bottom of your screen being Chris Godwin, Rachaad White, and David Moore. Trey Palmer. And then it's an inside handoff out of the shotgun to Rachaad White, the same exact run formation it was on the play prior. But they get the necessary yardage this time. Great running by Rachaad White when this team needed it the most. Great job. 1st and 10, single back look. Now Godwin, the man in motion. Baker under center, takes the snap. Handoff to White. Up the gut, fights ahead. 5 yards for the Bucs, 2nd down. Second down for Tampa Bay. 2nd and 5 after the run from Rachaad White. Trying to put this Packers team away. And a big-time 4th down conversion can certainly go a long way in helping them do that. Approaching the 2-minute warning. Looks like they're just going to let it go down here. So they'll take a quick commercial break here at the 2-minute warning. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers in position to put this game away 34-20 over the Green Bay Packers. Don't forget, folks, as soon as the game is over, we're going to be going live over on the Cane and Fire Podcast YouTube channel. Myself and my co-host, Devin White, going to be talking about the game, the good and the bad, plus taking your phone calls as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will improve their record to 7-7. Back to 500 for the first time since the first month of this season. You love to see it for Tampa Bay. Just making the thumbnail real quick. Apologies for the dead air, but how are we feeling in chat, guys? Big time win for the Buccaneers in Lambeau. Just enough to get people excited for the rest of this playoff push the Bucs have ahead. Still have a very tough team next week against Jacksonville. But I really like what I saw today. I do. I really do. Gave me a lot of hope. So it looks like in that Carolina game, I think it's all coming down to a field goal from Eddie Pinheiro. If the Panthers win, that would also be huge. Panthers get the field goal from Eddie Pinheiro as time expires to beat the Falcons 9-7 in Charlotte. Atlanta drops to 6-8, likely a game back of the Bucs in the NFC South. So a big-time win from the... Here is another handoff to Rachaad White on 2nd and 5. He has room, breaks tacklers, and he goes down at the 10-yard line. Could have gone to the end zone. He was untouched. How about that? Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Career victory in Lambeau Field. Twice before, and he lost. So, what a tale of redemption. Not only for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but for Baker Mayfield, who arguably was the best player on the offense today. I know we can talk about Chris Godwin, and we can also talk about the Baker Mayfield early miscue on that fumble. But the Bucs recovered about as well as they possibly could have. And you wouldn't think this game was 34-20, especially after seeing that miscue in the first quarter. But ladies and gentlemen, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win, and they improve their record to 7-7, now back to 500. And Baker Mayfield plays one of his best career games in Lambeau, where his idol, Brett Favre, played so many years of Hall of Fame quarterback. A great win for the Buccaneers. We will talk to you guys here shortly live on the youtube.com/Cane and Fire podcast. Or, yeah, on the Cane and Fire podcast YouTube channel. It is probably an easier way to say that. But make sure you go subscribe. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today as I hang out I filled in for our buddy James Hill. What a great game. 34-20 Bucs win. We will talk to you guys on the Cannon Fire podcast. I will be joined by my host, Evan